Good morning, RPS Nation. AP over here with my two guys. We're bringing you off the chalk. Had to bring the shades in. I knew it would happen at some point in the season with the show this early. Woke up, had these lights on. Producers all about. Producer Simon wants us to have good lighting and everything, and I couldn't see the screen. Brought out the shades. It's going to bring the good mojo. Let me bring in my two main guys. We got to start with JT Hayes. Just look at that smile over there. I mean, JT Hayes, why are you so happy this morning? I mean, one, I'm kind of surprised you're on the show, but we're glad to have you. Talk to us about how you're feeling right now, my man.
I feel good. I had to set 3 alarms to make sure that I got up this morning because, as you mentioned, we record the show earlier than any other show in the DFS industry. So that's something that we love doing for the members. And, maybe there was a positive outcome for one of my teams last night. The Atlanta Braves headed to the World Series to absolutely demolish the fuck out of the Houston Astros. So I'm pretty excited this morning. Can't lie. Got a great slate. Another good day of DFS ahead of us. And it was a good night. Had a house full of people. We were out in the backyard with the fire. Got a little tense there in the 7th and 8th innings, but they pulled it out. So big win for the Braves and Atlanta sports, right? Because everyone's talking, Atlanta, they choke it away. Not last night.
Yeah, what's his name? Who's the reliever that just came out and oh man, he was
Tyler Mckissick, man. Tyler Mckissick. This guy, it's one of those stories that you almost only see in baseball, right? Where he took a year off from the game a few years ago. He was completely out of the league. He was playing like independent pro ball somewhere in the Texas Hill Country. And some Brave scout finds him, goes to see a game there and says, we got to get this guy on board in our system. And just an amazing story for Tyler Mckissick. I'll tell you, if Eddie Rosario hadn't gone crazy this series, absolutely nuts. And Rosario is a guy who only started because Jorge Soler was injured, put on the COVID list with the protocols before the series. If Rosario hadn't gone crazy, Tyler Mckissick would have been the MVP of that series.
Yeah. I mean, he was excellent. Tambo, let's bring you in, my man. We got another football Sunday, another off the chalk show. How are you feeling about this week? How was your week last week?
Yeah, feeling good, man. Always happy to be here. Happy to be back with you. Happy to be back with JT. Had to miss our Mayo Media Network show this week, so I was a little bit disappointed, but I finally got moved in. Still a few renovations going on. I didn't even know that guy's name was Tyler, by the way, JT. That makes it all that much sweeter. But Big T had the core last night. I played this random guy, Matsker, whatever his name is, got the W in Showdown, shipped with Big T and a couple others in the Discord. Another Mats came through. Matsuyama came through on the golf betting front, 15-1 on Hideki last night. Cruised to an easy 5-shot win.
Yep.
And like I said, now we're back here to talk football. But you mentioned Atlanta sports, JT. Usually the ATL stands for all-time low. You should certainly be on an all-time high now after that. And you could still go on the lows if you want to go with the Falcons. But as far as baseball goes, you're in a good spot right now, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a Falcons shirt on underneath this one, and we'll get to the Falcons-Dolphins game because one of the first things I do on Sunday morning before I get ready to jump on here is I take a look at what are the injury updates, and I take a look at what Vegas is thinking, what the books are thinking, where line movement is, and all of a sudden, that Dolphin-Falcon game, high total, point spread's gone up 3 since the open, and only a 2-point spread. So interesting there. And look, the one thing that I was a little concerned about last night in watching that post-game celebration was, Snitker's been in the game a long time and they were all pretty happy. And this is what I didn't hear from them that makes me a little nervous. We're not done yet. I didn't hear that from anybody. And I hope that they're just, they still have, and I think they will, they'll still have that fire next week. But big, like I said, big win for Atlanta sports. And now I get to watch what should be a pretty compelling game between the Falcons and the Dolphins today.
All right. I mean, chat's already on fire. I literally can't see you, which is why I got these on. But I might have to fund a 333 ticket for someone in chat with the best comment. Might not even announce it on Twitter. Might just, we got our dedicated crew in here So I'm going to look through these early comments. I'm going to have producer Simon browsing them, and we'll get a winner, and we'll figure out your PayPal and everything, and I'll get you a 333 ticket. But all right, guys, this is Off the Chalk. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The subscribe button is that red button right down there in the right-hand corner. It helps us to keep this free each and every week. We got a promo going on right now. It is still RPS NBA 15. That's going to get you 15% off any monthly subscription over here. That goes through today. So this is your last chance. Last chance to get in if you're not a member. We got so much content coming out. I mean, it's ridiculous how much content's coming out. Shows every day, cash charts, playbooks, heat maps, core plays, all of the above, articles, Jim's articles that we have coming out every single day. RPS NBA 15% off. Very simple. Come try us out. We got to dive into the next segment. Hashtag members never win. We've had a ton of big winners here lately. We started off NBA with some massive ships. As JT Hayes said, Big T, our guy, Big T, who is coming up on the Up to Lock show, he back-to-back shippers in the Showdown streets for MLB. I think 22 to 25K each night. So, NBA, I think we're on like a 3 or 4 day little heater there. So too many people to single out. But yeah, let's keep it going. We got a 5 game slate later tonight, and I just want to tell you, everyone out there, that even though it's Sunday, we still have NBA content. A lot of sites out there. Come Sunday, NBA gets neglected. It's not going to happen here. We're going to have all the content out, every single piece of content. So, all right, boys, as I said, this is Off the Chalk. Let's get into it. What we're going to do is we're going to highlight all the chalky plays at each position, the top 3 projected chalk players, and then we're gonna tell you if we're eating the chalk or if we're pivoting up. So we're going to start at quarterback. Tambo, I'm going to bring you in first. The 3 projected most popular quarterback plays this week are Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes. What are you doing, Tambo? Are you eating the chalk or are you getting off the chalk?
I want to look at my player pool and my notes, but I just can't get my eyes off the chat. It's just killing me right now here. What is the contest, by the way, AP? Is it 250 likes and the best AP looking like comment and what they say?
Funniest comment, just because I literally can't see.
Oh, it's hilarious.
I look stoned if I take them off.
There's so many good ones already. So of those 3, to be honest, I know why they're popular. I know what they're capable of. Lamar, Hurts, obviously they've got that dual threat, but Mahomes would be the only one there that I'm interested in. I'm going off the chalk, off the board a little bit with my quarterback plays this week, and we'll circle back, I think, to go through some of the other ones, but definitely in on Mahomes regardless, that total, that game, everything about it, and just the ways and pieces that you can stack them up with. We had a little bit of this conversation on the Friday News Dump show, and I do like Mahomes quite a bit this week with some of the other guys around him. So he's the only one of interest there. Not, Lamar with Bateman will be popular, I'm sure. Not popular enough that you can't go there. I'm just saying, like, I'm not into those paths as much as I am some of the other guys that we'll talk about after.
Yeah, I like it. JT Hayes, same question for you. We have Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, the 3 projected chalk players. What are you doing? Are you eating the chalk here? Are you getting different? Maybe with your boy, Matt Ryan. Maybe you just keep the good mojo going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's what I'd say. I agree with Tambo 100% on the Mahomes play. I am a little concerned, and we'll get into that when we talk about that game, just because, the Titans under Arthur Smith last year, really good offense, seemed to put up a ton of points every single game. And they hadn't been that way. Last week, they got rolling against the Bills, which nobody expected. The thing is with the Titans offense is, you had Corey Davis last year on the other side of A.J. Brown. And so if teams geared up to stop Henry, you had a dual threat there. Then you had Jonnu Smith, who was okay, at least good enough on the offense to get some attention from the defense. This year, they bring in Julio Jones, who's been nothing but hurt every single game except one. AJ Brown, who I've been on all week, and I have to see if I'm going to stay there. I'm, think it's good that he came back to practice here on Friday, but I just wonder if, the reason why I think the Chiefs had success against the Washington football team last week is because when you take away Terry McLaurin, you take away their biggest weapon, and then you can focus pretty easily on locking down Antonio Gibson, who's playing on one leg. I know that, and I saw the conversation in Discord before we went on about Derrick Henry and playing him or playing the Kansas City side. I know the total is high. I just wonder if this isn't a game where the Titans coming off a short week and probably, Julio's questionable, but even if he plays, he just hasn't been the same this year. I just don't know if they have the weapons to keep up with Kansas City. So that's my biggest concern with that game.
I like to hear that. Obviously the Chiefs need to win this game. And it's tough. Like, I see this game being an absolute battle with a ton of points. Like, I would not be surprised if we get into the 60s. It just feels like a 38-35 last team, whoever gets the ball is going to win type of game. Unless the defense shows up. I'm not, we were talking in Discord. I love to see that K Fallick, was kind of high on the KC defense last week. They look good. I thought they did look decent, but again, Taylor Heineke, I know he hasn't been that bad. I still don't know if I can trust it. So I am close to locking Patrick Mahomes in today. He got it done last week, was such a weird slate. I felt like I had all the right pieces, but I bubbled every contest. It was one of those weeks where it was just a disaster. And I think I had one lineup out of my 5 cash, and all the others were right on the bubble. And it was just one of those things where I had Patrick Mahomes. I had that piece right. And just, I didn't have Cooper Kupp, which was a big mistake that week. But I don't see Williams getting 2 touchdowns. I just feel like it could be a 4 or 5 touchdown game for Patrick Mahomes. So for me, I'm kind of moving off the chalk in that I'm going to have no Lamar Jackson. I'm going to have no Jalen Hurts. I'm going to have a ton of shares of Patrick Mahomes. And I'm looking over here at Tambo's core, and I don't want to give it away, but I like the path that Tambo's on. And I'm going to have, I can tell you in one of my 5 builds, I'm going to have that stack. I'm just looking at Tambo's core, and I think it looks tasty. Tambo, let me kick it back over to you real quick again, because talk to us about that path you're on. What do you, because and I don't want to give it all away. It's for the members, but my only fear would be the Bears defense. Does that concern you at all with that quarterback that you're looking at and how you're attacking?
No, not really. It's Tom Brady who you're talking about, obviously. And yeah, I'm fine to give some of it away here for sure. Everyone, the loyal fans getting in on the early show this morning, off the chalk. Even AP still got glasses on, I don't mind giving it out a little bit here. Just to talk through it, though, the conversation is pretty easy. I think it's, what we always talk about with Lenny Fournette getting a little bit popular. We're, easily can go against that. The other thing about the Brady side is, and I say this all the time, he spreads it out, which usually is something I want to try and avoid when I'm building my stacks out and looking at my lineup construction as a whole. But when you're losing guys like Antonio Brown, Gronk, and you're shrinking the tree down, it's better in the sense that now I can at least make my stacks and feel a little bit more comfortable when I've got 25 or 30% Brady, because I've got enough lineups and I can make sure that we can see sort of the different paths we can go with it without having to be worried, it's going to be this random guy or that random guy. So I do really like that. I know Godwin's cheap this week. There's Tyler Johnson. There's Evans. But beyond that, there's not too much that you have to go with. And also, it's kind of like a double leverage play in the sense that we'll see where Leonard Fournette's ownership actually lands. But you can either double stack and use him. So I'll stack the stack, put him in with Brady, or just go off him completely and stick to the pass catchers with Brady. Chicago, you don't have to run it back, but I do have a few guys on the other side that you could utilize in those stacks.
I like that. JTAs, I got one more question for you on quarterbacks before we move to running back. We're looking at this game, the Chiefs-Titans game. No one is talking about Ryan Tannehill. He's coming in sub 5% ownership. We've seen historically these games where everyone's on Henry, and Tannehill will have these maybe he sneaks it in on the goal line for a touchdown. Maybe he throws for 3, and so he gets a 4 touchdown game. It's like randomly throughout the season, we'll get those games. Are you playing Ryan Tannehill? Because if I don't lock Mahomes in, I got to have him because I'm just like looking at this total. So is he a guy you're looking at all?
Yeah, so this goes back to the discussion about what Kansas City did last week with Washington. I don't think it was so much Taylor Heineke because, as you mentioned, he's been really good games in a couple of difficult spots. He put up some points against the Bills. That was really more of a chase script in garbage time where he got there. But he did have a good game against the Falcons. Almost every quarterback has a good game against the Falcons. But he looked serviceable as an NFL quarterback. But you take away the one weapon that Washington has, which was McLaurin, who was hobbled. He played through an injury. They refused to shut down Antonio Gibson, even though he's got a stress fracture in one of his legs. And all of a sudden, that becomes a toothless offense, right? So I think you take that game away for the Kansas City defense. And the one concern I had about Tennessee when I woke up this morning was what's going on with A.J. Brown and what's going on with Julio Jones. Because if you only have A.J. Brown, they really do not have a secondary threat in the passing offense that at least I think is something that a defense has to be concerned about. So it is interesting because you've got Henry. Henry has been getting more targets out of the backfield. We even saw it in that massive game he had Monday night where McNichols was the guy who got ruled out. Actually, didn't get ruled out. He just kind of left the field and didn't play a single snap. So got to take a look at that injury report. I think that Tannehill is interesting. I mean, you have to be interested in the quarterback, the lower price quarterback in a 57, 58 point total, right? I mean, you're not doing it right if you're not. But you did mention a guy who I was way down on after being way high on early in the season, and that's Matt Ryan. And I like Tambo's route. I wrote up that game. That was one of the games I had for the Gems articles. I like the Brady stack with Evans and with Godwin. And I think you can bring it back with Cole Kmet because, Cole Kmet or Darnell Mooney, who's surprisingly the guy that's gotten more attention in that Chicago offense. But I do like Ryan, Cordero Patterson, Cordy as I call him, who they're using in the same way that the Panthers have used Christian McCaffrey, that the Giants has used Saquon Barkley. He's not the same talent, but God, if he hasn't been great so far this season. He got 14, 15 touches against the Jets, rushes, not touches, rushes. And he went for 54 yards. He gets those same amount. Let's say he gets 10 rushes for the Falcons in this game. He's going to get 50, 60, 75 yards. I took his over on Prize Picks on rushing yards. It was 37.5. And then Ridley is too cheap. I noticed, AP, that you have an interest in Ridley, and I think you can run it back. You can run it back with Mckissick if you want on the Dolphins side. You can run it back with Devontae Parker, who's expected to suit up, because whether it's Tua or whether somehow Tua, I just don't trust Tua from an injury standpoint. So Tua goes out, Brissett comes in. I think that both of these teams are going to put up points for sure. So I like a little stack of those 3 games, right? Getting some pieces from Kansas City, the Falcons game, and then the Tampa Bay game.
Yeah, very good comments. All right, guys and gals, let's hit that like button. Let's get up to 150. I'm going to announce that winner here soon, probably right after we talk about the running backs. I already got about 3 comments that are definitely in the lead, and I'm going to be biased for the people that are in here grinding early. So, you got to blow me away with a comment if you're going to post it now, because we want to reward the grinders that are getting up really early, 7:45 in the morning for the show. 8:45 on the East Coast. And what is it for you, Tambo? Like 10:45?
Oh yeah, Atlantic time.
What time zone are you in again?
10:05, Atlantic time zone.
Atlantic time zone.
Don't even have that in America. You guys don't
out
even
there in
have
the
that.
ocean.
It's something we got that you don't. So I'm going to keep that and hold it very near and dear to my heart. But we got the Atlantic time zone.
No wonder why you didn't care when they were saying
I know.
It start this 8:45.
Yeah, don't matter to me.
Last week I was going to ask Mangone if he wanted to hop on the show, but I'm like, shit. Now he's in Mountain Time Zone. I'm going. There's zero chance that Mangone would want to wake up at
We're going live at 3:30 a.m. Mangone.
Oh man, too good. All right, let's get on to the running backs, fellas.
Wait. I thought you were going to do that, but we got to talk about one thing that didn't come up. I just want to get your guys' thoughts right quick.
Yeah.
It's the double revenge game. We've got Stafford versus Goff on their opposite teams now. What about that game, AP? Anything there for you?
Yeah, I guess Goff is one of the, or no, not Goff. Stafford is one of the quarterbacks I have on my one of the other guys I could go to if I move off of Mahomes. And man, he looked good. That stack just was phenomenal. I think they're just going to destroy them, much like they destroyed New York last week. And so I think it would be kind of foolish not to get a little piece of that game. So I'm with you there.
Yeah, JT, anything for you in those on those two sides? I like how you were going opposite sides. Like I was saying the Ryan thing earlier. I like Tua. If you think there's any narrative there that he's worried that Deshaun Watson might come steal his job, but maybe he just has to show up for a game. I just think that game is interesting, like you said, with the total going up as the week went on. But more interested in the Rams game there and the Stafford side of things. Anything for you?
Yeah, I think with the Stafford thing, just like you guys do, right? I think the Rams come out and destroy this team. We talked about it a little bit on, I think, Tuesday pod where we said, hey, here's Campbell calling out Jared Goff. I mean, look at this guy's receiver core. He's got Quintus Cephas, Khalif Raymond, someone named Amon-Ra St. Brown. And I mean, what do you expect him to do with that? And he's not.
Man.
Yeah, he's not very good to begin with. So the only reason why I'm not going to have Stafford, I do like Henderson as a play here. You play all the running backs against Detroit every week, is because these other games where they're going to be close, and we saw this last week where the tournament winners, a lot of them had Dak Prescott in a game that was close and went to overtime. Stafford just a few points behind him, but because it was completely one-sided, and I expect the same thing today. So I think you can take some pieces of that game. And like I said, Henderson, my favorite play there.
Good segue to the running back position for AP because he's going to be a part of the conversation here beyond Henry and whatnot.
Yeah, for sure. So real quick, we're going to running back. Hit that like button, though. We got to get up to at least 150 on our way to 200. We've done it every week before our boys come on the Morning Wood, Hoop, Big T, Holden to help us find the winners. So let's get to 150 on our way to 200 to help those guys out. Running back, we got Darrell Henderson, Chuba Hubbard, Leonard Fournette, all projected to be the three highest owned running backs. Tambo, I'm going to kick it to you. Are you eating the chalk at running back, or are you getting different?
A little more than most weeks, I think. Yeah, it looks good to me that, this week, a lot of those guys, there's ways you can get off of them. We talked a little bit earlier about the Henry situation. The thing for me with Henry is, you talked a little on it. I didn't get it to go on it, but with the Mahomes situation there, I think if you got Henry having a big game, I like him. I know it's expensive, but try and get him into your Mahomes Kelsey or Mahomes Hill or whatever you want to do, because if he's going to hit a ceiling, you got to think Mahomes is going to, and then you're going to have it going all around and spread out across the board. So if you're going that way, I don't mind it. I never go heavy on him. I'm not all in Henry or anything like that. I don't do that. Hubbard is not the highest on my list. I kind of like some of the other guys there, but the chalk is decent this week. I will say that. And usually if you are eating some chalk, you want to be doing it at the running back position. It's notoriously bad at the wide receiver and tight end position, and especially bad at the defense, which we talk a little bit about at the end. So that's just for large field stuff I'm talking, but I do like the running back chalk a little bit this week.
Yeah, very good. I feel like I'm going to be on a similar path with you guys. I was kind of surprised that Henry isn't up there in the top three, but like you said, it's tough when you're stacking, when you're running Mahomes builds. JT Hayes, let me bring you in. Same question. Darrell Henderson, Chuba Hubbard, Leonard Fournette, three chalkiest projected running backs. Are you eating the chalk, or are you getting different?
Yeah, I agree with Tambo. I think those guys, one of the things I tend to look at is the spot. What is the opposing defense doing against the running back position? And the other thing is Matt Rule of the Panthers said, hey, we're going to start to redefine ourselves, probably more of as a product of the fact that Sam Darnold has regressed a little bit since this hot start, and said we're going to run the ball a little bit more. So with the Giants being particularly bad defensively against everything, but even more so against the run, I think it is a good spot for Chuba Hubbard, and definitely like Henderson, as I've talked about. And then the guy that I'm going to play that I don't think a lot of people are going to play because I just can't ignore the volume in this offense is going to be Cordero Patterson.
Yeah, you might have sold me on him. I just, at that elevated price tag, I don't think a lot of people are going to play him. So, I mean, it looks like a really nice piece there to get for some leverage off of these other guys. And when you look at, much like you said, when you look at the target share, the rush share, it's up there. And when you factor in the matchup, nice matchup, I could definitely see him having a big day. For me, I want all the Derrick Henry I can get. I want to lock him in. If this game, in these high total games, like whenever I would love to see a stat. I don't have it. I wish I did. But whenever the Titans score like over 28 points, I would love to know what Derrick Henry, like what his fantasy number is in those games. In my opinion, just going off of like feel and just thinking back through all the games that I can remember, it would have to be like over 30 plus points. I mean, would you guys agree, disagree? Is that a bad take? I mean, it just
no. There was a stat out there a couple weeks back about it, but I believe, just so you know, it was in games that Tennessee wins that happens. And obviously, so I don't know if it translates over to games that they just put up 30 points, where that could be the case here and they still lose. But again, sample sizes, etc. Who knows if that's legit? But I like your take. Like I said, if you expect the game to be high scoring and you expect Mahomes to go off and that Tennessee can stay in it, then obviously that's just the facts. Just put those guys together; they make sense.
Yeah, and I just so I'm going to get uncomfortable. I have a few value plays that I'm going to be very heavy on as well in the receiver and maybe tight end position, but I'm going to be very overweight. Derrick Henry. And I can't ignore some of these other running back plays too. Darrell Henderson, such a massive role. I'm going to have a bunch of him. I think I can make it work too. I've already seen a few builds. You got to get a little bit uncomfortable at the receiver position. But if Mahomes hits Hardman, he's going to be one of my guys, which I think he will today. You can make it work. Hardman at 4-3 there. Let's finish up the running back section. Tambo, let me kick it back to you. Are there any value running backs that you're looking at this week?
Staying to most weeks for me, as I've talked about on the show plenty of times, I'm sticking pretty balanced, but there is a couple guys that I wouldn't say are value necessarily, but a little more balanced. And it's the Las Vegas Raiders game against the Philly. We talked earlier about Hurts. I like Sanders a little bit there. I think he's interesting. And I even like Josh Jacobs on the other side. I've been trying to beat this drum a little bit and get him there. And this might be the week that it happens. I think both of those guys in that game could be interesting. They stand out a little bit for me. Other than that, there's not too much. I think JT got me a little bit more excited when I looked back at my exposures and saw the Patterson shares that I had. I like the take. So I'm happy that I've got some of them in there now, because within that game, like you said, and you just go back and look at the numbers, the touches, the opportunities in general are just much higher than what I really even thought. I just kind of felt like it was, how can this keep going? Well, when you get that much opportunity, there's always a chance that you can score out of it. So Sanders, Jacobs, Patterson, some of the other guys, and I don't love this, but I do have a little bit of Chase Edmonds, even though on the news dump show, I said I really hate everything about Arizona in the sense of a team. They're incredible. Kyler, awesome, great to watch, fun, Hopkins, etc. But stacking them or trying to figure them out is damn near impossible when it comes to DFS. So yes, James Conner is there. The total's good. The team total, the spread is their favor big time, but I just like Chase Edmonds. I try and make him work often too. Oftentimes, though, he's crept into by his counterpart there in James Conner. So I hate that part of it, but I'm just being honest so everyone knows who I've got this week.
Yeah, I like it. JT Hayes, same questions. Any value running backs that you're looking at this week?
Yeah, it's funny because the other game that I wrote up on the gems was that Arizona game. And instead of Edmonds, I said you could play Conner. They're both the same price on DraftKings. And Conner has been getting the touches around the goal line. And with an 18-point spread, Conner is going to be the guy that's in there after halftime up to about the beginning, midway through the fourth, before they really seal it away. So I think it's honestly, it's plausible if this game goes the way that most of us think it's going to go, that Conner and Edmonds can both get over 20 DraftKings points. I think that's totally feasible the way that this game sets up. So I do think you can go there.
Maybe we just play Conner and Sony Michel in the other game and just say that both those teams smash and it's the other guys that get the job done, and use all that money to spend it elsewhere and stack up everything else? What do you think?
I mean, it's a great tournament philosophy, because the game that Sony went nuts was the Monday night game. I think it was against Seattle, and the Rams had no trouble with them. Now, that was a short week, so that was the difference there with Darnell Henderson. He was coming off injury. It was a short week, but you're talking about two coaches who have used their running backs interchangeably. So it's totally possible.
Yeah.
So my value running back, J.D. McKissick. Now, this could be just a little bit of viewership bias, if we want to call it that, in watching him get 10 targets against the Chiefs. I think it's a similar game script to what we saw there, where the Packers take the lead, dump it off to J.D. McKissick. And I'm not sold that like Antonio Gibson is 100% either. So at 5K, he's going to be a guy that I have a piece of. Again, guys, let's hit that like button. Guys and gals, let's hit that like button. Let's get it to 150, then 200 before the Morning Wood show at the top of the hour with Big T, Hoop, and Holden. Let's get into the winner so I can get this out to said person. A 333 ticket. You got to play the 333. I believe there's still some spots. If not, I know there's always a secondary one that's going. We got to go all the way back to Ben Howarth. Here's what he said. AP looks like Charlie Sheen coming off a 5-day bender in a Tijuana motel. Very true. I think that's very spot on. Congratulations, Ben. Shoot me a DM on Twitter. Make sure you do so in the next 15 minutes. If not, we'll find someone else to get the ticket. AP8809 DFS is my Twitter handle. Shoot me a DM. All right, boys, let's get on to the receiver position. I'm going to start with JT Hayes this time. The projected chalk at receiver: Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams. 3 lovely choices. Are you eating the chalk this week, JT, or are you getting different?
I think I'm fine with any of those 3 guys. Godwin, based on his price and based on the increased opportunity with Antonio Brown being out, is probably my favorite of the 3. I think I would rank them, maybe he and Adams tied. I just think Adams almost always coming off of these lower scoring games that he has just smashes. Saw this a few weeks ago when he had a pretty low volume game, and then he came out and just destroyed the Cincinnati secondary. Should have no problem with the Washington secondary. The only concern there is, is this one of those weeks where a random week where Aaron Jones just goes nuts? I don't think it is, but so like those 3 guys, but I'm going to be higher on other pieces. I think that, Tyreek Hill is going to be tough to get to unless you're playing the type of build where you're going to go a little bit more balanced and lower at quarterback, and I'm going to have an easy time getting him in there. And then I like that mid-range, but before I get to the mid-range, I just don't think that you can overlook how badly DeAndre Hopkins has been looking forward to playing against this Texans team. And I do think that Kingsbury and Kyler Murray will do their best to feed him. He hasn't gotten to 100 yards yet at all this season so far. And I think it's a product of, as Tambo was saying, they just spread the ball around so much. But I think this is a good opportunity and the right spot to get him rolling. And then you've got Calvin Ridley at 6'6", and a guy that I also talked about on our Thursday night Mayo Media Network show with Bobby Gomes, who was filling in for you, Tambo, was A.J. Brown. If he's healthy and over his Chipotle incident, food poisoning, whatever he had, this is a really good matchup for A.J. Brown, and it speaks to the point, AP, you were making about Ryan Tannehill. If it's not Derrick Henry this week and the Titans put up points, then it's absolutely going to be Tannehill and A.J. Brown. So those are a couple of wide receivers that I like. One other one is in a crappy game, and I don't want any other pieces than this, but Jacoby Meyers at 5'3", coming off a couple of unspectacular performances against a very bad secondary, should get a ton of volume this week.
Yeah. A lot of great points, especially with Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. You know, that combination, especially when you try to get Derrick Henry in there too. I've tried to look at a few builds like that. It gets very thin. Tambo, same question to you, my friend. Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp, and Devontae Adams, three projected chalk receivers this week. What are you doing? Are you eating the chalk here, or are you getting different?
I think I'll still be underweight on all of them, actually. Godwin obviously fits in with my Brady stacks. Kupp fits in with my Stafford stacks, but still leaning the other way in both of them. I do like Evans. Evans is not that much more expensive than Godwin, so I love that Godwin is $5,900, and I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw that price tag this week. But realistically, if you think about it, I talk about this all the time in PGA DFS, the best buy pricing. Godwin's is 5,900. There's no 6. He's not 6,000. So he just looks so much better. It's like when the TV goes on sale for $999. Oh, it's not 1,000, honey. It's $999. I didn't spend 1,000 on that TV. It's the same thing here, $5,900. But you just spend a little bit more. Same in TVs. You get a much better model. So if you just spend a little bit more than Godwin this week, you can get on Mike Evans. I think that's the way to go here. I kind of like that route. I also like Robert Woods a little bit instead of Kupp. And then Devontae Adams, I just don't ever mind fading. I know he can bust it out and have that 40-point, 50-point game, but we've seen even in the past, we did the weekly review show just 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever it was that he had that big game. He made it on to the Millie Maker winner, but barely. Like third place, should have probably won that thing. And it just didn't happen. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. But the point is, it's not always needed because then you have to have all the other stuff right, and not enough people have that anyway, or are playing Rodgers to make the stack work or anything. I thought it was more interesting that JT brought up. Do we even wonder? I wonder if Hopkins even cares. Didn't he win on that trade? Go ahead and trade me. You sent me to a much better squad. I have a realistic chance now. You guys want to give it up. I saw the chat talking earlier about the David Johnson revenge game. If you want to get your secondary stack on, play a little David Johnson opposite Hopkins. But I can see him totally getting there. That's where I have trouble with it. I think if he gets there, you kind of want, I don't know, for me, I think I would want Kyler. He's a higher priced receiver. If he's going to have that 100-yard, multiple touchdown game, that's going to link very nicely for Kyler. And then what Kyler does on the ground. Usually when I'm going with these higher priced receivers, I think about if they're going to hit their ceiling, think about what it does for their quarterback. Any just secondary thoughts on that, JT?
Yeah, I mean, I do think he cares. I do think he cares about the way that the send-off was, right? I don't think J.J. Watt cares at all. That's not something that I'm looking at. And I certainly don't think David Johnson cares. I mean, that was something that, David Johnson's lucky to still be playing football, right? I mean, these guys in the shelf life and the injury issues that he had. The reason why I'm not interested in Kyler is because I think I know I can get on this slate Kyler's productivity at a points per dollar lower price at quarterback. Like I know I can find that. If Hopkins gets 115, 120 yards and a touchdown or 2 touchdowns off of 11 catches at 7-7, that's pretty good. I mean, his price point is good. The fact that I don't think he's going to be very popular, judging by where I see ownership, maybe coming in the 10% range. So I like the price point. I like the fact that people are kind of off of him. And I do think some of that matters to him. Again, it's not this huge thing where, he's going nuts, but I think it's a great spot too. And we've seen what opposing wide receivers have done against this team. And it's hard. It is hard to peg how Arizona is going to use guys. But I think if there's a spot that you can try and predict, this would be the one that I would do.
Yeah, I like that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for me, like spin it up. I mean, Cooper Kupp. I mean, this guy. I think I don't play him like the first few weeks when he smashes. And then I start playing him, and then I didn't play him last week, and he smashed. I think I just gotta take a stand and not play him at this elevated price tag because like I'm tired of like going back and forth, and especially if I'm playing Mahomes, like why would I waste a spot on Kupp when I would, if I could find the salary to do so, I'd rather have Tyreek Hill in there. So for me, I'm going to be off Kupp this week. Could absolutely torch me, has before. I wouldn't be surprised if it did again. Godwin is just kind of too tough for me to fade. I'm going to have exposure to him. But in the first build, in my main build I made, I had enough for Calvin Ridley in there when I got all the pieces in there. And man, he's coming in a little bit lower than those guys. And I mean, 6,600 is way too low for our guy, Calvin Ridley, for sure. Just going down here in this kind of upper mid range, I'm looking at I don't know if I'm going to get up to Devontae Adams either. The same theory is if I'm that high on Patrick Mahomes, I need more Hill. I'd rather have the correlation there. So a few big fades I'm probably making, but I know I'm eating chalk because I do feel like this week that ownership is going to spread out a little bit at the receiver position. Let's get on to let's touch on the value receivers, and then let's get to tight ends. Tambo, what value receivers are you playing this week?
Just pulling it up here to see, trying to go through my
the one I love this week is actually projected to be pretty popular, and I know Big T is going to like him too.
Again, I'm mostly balanced. The one thing I did turn around on a little bit, just because of obviously having Brady, it makes this work. I talked on Friday about, I don't like the Tyler Johnson Henry, for example, using that money, if you can get a Derrick Henry to make Tyler Johnson to make Derrick Henry work, as going to a Godwin and someone in a mid-tier balanced range running back. I still like that construction, but I guess Tyler Johnson would still hit my Brady builds more than a guy like Bateman would get in there just as a one-off. Van Jefferson would hit my Stafford builds more than some other guys getting in there. And then, of course, some guy named Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's got to get in there a little bit too after JT brought that up. So I'll fit a few guys in there down in the lower range, but not going crazy with it this week.
Yeah, very good. JT Hayes, same question over to you. Value receivers, who's popping for you this week?
Yeah, full disclosure, I played Amon-Ra St. Brown last week. That's why I now refer to him as some guy named Amon-Ra St. Brown because of his disgusting performance. But I think I'm mostly balanced. I'm interested, AP. I was going to ask, this was a question I had and I think for me every week when I do this is something that is part of my process. You start with the highest, price quarterback. You've got the highest price running back. You want to get the highest price receiver. And then you have to go to these, what on normal weeks are pretty thin plays, right? The 3-2, 3-4 wide receivers, unless there's an injury. And I'm interested to hear your take on Bateman because I want to we'll get to tight end. I want to go a little bit in the mid-range at tight end. On Bateman, tell me, what is the excitement in Bateman other than I see that he's popping in some projections? Is there that much interest in the other pieces of this Baltimore offense?
I think for me, it's that he's 3-4. I need a cheap guy if I'm going Mahomes. I need a cheap guy if I'm going Derrick Henry. And 3-4, he's the number 2 receiver for Baltimore. He was a stud for Minnesota, I believe. Watched him torch Nebraska multiple times. And I just think, he had 6 targets last week. Good matchup here against the Bengals. Could he bust? Yeah, he could bust. I just think for me, I need a cheap piece. I'm not going to overthink it. I know he's gonna get some ownership, but I don't think it's going to be anything too crazy. I do think that he's got some potential to put up like an 18 to 20 point DK day. Like I think he could get in the end zone. I think maybe he could break one. And that's why I'm playing him. I guess, you guys could potentially sell me on some other cheap receivers. I just think he's right now my favorite one. Dommy Brown, I think, is the other one. Is that his name? The football team guy?
Close enough. Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah. I don't know.
Exactly. Just say some guy named, and you're
some
okay.
guy named. I don't have as much confidence in the football team. They looked really bad against a Chiefs defense that hasn't been good. Maybe they're better. One game sample size. I have more faith in the Ravens, and we got our boy Snyder every day, just literally peeling and stroking to this guy named Lamar Jackson. So he says he's a quarterback and can throw the ball. You know what? Let's go, Snyder. Get Bateman the ball, find the end zone, and maybe I won't give you crap about Lamar Jackson anymore. So
interesting. They call it roster baiting. It's roster Bateman. So he's going to go that route this week.
There we go.
I don't know. Maybe that's the Snyder play of the week. You got to ask him, but I'm sure he's interested. I'm a Ravens fan, but I can tell you, it's just I'm looking at the other build style. If he makes everything work for you, it's great. I'll have a little bit, but not someone I'm going all in on at that price or that I want to go heavy on. And I'm not playing Lamar either. So that tells you everything you need to know right there.
They just don't have any like running backs outside of Lamar too. So sorry, Snyder, had to get that little jab in there. All right, well, JT, any other final comments on value receivers, or should we move to the tight end position?
No, I mean, I think your point's well taken. If all of your expensive pieces smash, if that game goes to in the 60s or higher, then whatever you get from Bateman isn't really going to matter. Anything you get above his projection is going to be gravy. So I think I might have one of those builds out of my lineup group today.
All right, we got just under 400 watching. We got 144 likes. Let's get to 150. Let's get to 200. I believe in chat that they'll be able to before our boys, Big T Hoop and Holden, come on for the morning wood. Hit that like button. All right, guys, let's get into the tight end position. The three, and I think it's kind of unique. I need a value piece this week. Unless I'm getting Kelsey in there, but the three projected chalk tight ends: Travis Kelce, Ricky Seals-Jones, and Mike Gesicki. Tambo, I'll start with you this time. Are you eating the chalk at tight end, or are you getting different?
Yeah, I almost always get different at this position. The Gesicki one I can already see now is going to be upset by a Durham Smythe touchdown, and that'll have them all the Gesicki fans going crazy. So we'll see that for sure. Kelsey just makes sense though in the Mahomes builds. We talked a lot about this on Friday night. I don't think it's about ceiling as much as it's about consistency. With a guy like Kelsey, he can have bad games and it could still be 20 points. And at a position that's always pretty bad, one or two randoms end up getting there. You see a lot of weeks, like a couple weeks ago when we had Njoku get 30, but nobody had him. It's just a random one-off that gets there that no one has. And then that's where that consistency can separate you from the pack. So I really don't mind Kelsey as the only one, but he's, to me, almost, we talk about this a lot, a wide receiver on most teams. He's just the best out there. So I think it's not even close. I think he's the play. And then there's a lot of guys you can mix in after. I like Cole Kmet, who JT mentioned earlier. He makes a lot of sense to me this week. You could play some Robert Tonyan if you want to go that way against Washington D instead of going with Adams. You can go that way. Higbee falls into my stacks. There's a lot of different guys you can use at tight end, but for me, Pitts, don't forget Kyle Pitts. JT missed the Thursday show with you. Got to bring his name up. So maybe that's a good segue. Atlanta, we got good Atlanta vibes coming onto this spot. Maybe that's the spot at tight end this week. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely play Pitts. He's back. Price point is caught up now to that big game against the Jets, 5-9 on DraftKings. But I think, he's in play. Again, a total that's rising, a close spread, two defenses that are giving up just a ton of points to teams not named the Jets. So I like it a lot there. And then the one other guy that I like that I think is probably going to be a guy who I'll have more of than anybody else is Dallas Goedert. They traded Zach Ertz. The Raiders are giving up the second most fantasy points to the tight end position. And then one thing, just in case people don't know or aren't aware of it about the Cole Kmet play, is that one of the reasons why I like it so much is that Jimmy Graham was placed on the COVID IR. So looks like he's in a pretty good spot to get more snaps and potentially more targets there. I think it's just hard for me to fit Kelsey in with what I want to do here. And then the one guy, I think, people are talking about Marquise Brown at wide receiver, but I think Mark Andrews is a guy who always seems to do well in these matchups where, the opposing team, like the Bengals, been targeting them with opposing tight ends for years. But again, if you're going to play him, you can play Pitts at lower ownership at 5.9. They're right around the same price.
Yeah, we're kind of locked arm in arm. So when you look at some of these tournament winning builds, one common theme that you typically see is like a random tight end in there. Because we haven't had those like Kelsey explosion games, Waller the baller explosion games. And so we've gotten a lot of random tight ends in there. Love the Dallas Goedert call. Cole Kmet, another guy that I might have, if I'm running 5 builds, there's a good chance I might have 5 tight ends. I don't feel convicted on any one tight end this week. So I do like Cole Kmet. I do like OJ Howard, these value guys. Like, sure, there's risk with a guy like OJ Howard, but that's why I'm kind of spreading it out at this position. I'm not going to play Pitts, elevated price tag. I was heavy on him early in the season. With Ridley back, the other pieces back. I mean, really interesting tournament play. I don't think I'm going to get there on him. Travis Kelce, I'm more higher on the receivers there, but I don't think I'm going to full fade him or anything like that. I don't think I'm going to have one when I'm doing 5 builds. So the roster construction looks a little awkward when I get him in there with Mahomes, but he could definitely get it done. Wasn't he like 7K last week too? And now he's almost 8K. I mean, a pretty big price jump there. One tight end really off the board, and I was talking to Kay Fallick about it this morning. He said, be careful. And I know I should, but Anthony Firkser for the Titans. Now the Titans are running like 3 tight ends out there. So they got Jeff Swami, a guy named Jeff Swami, Anthony Firkser, and then I think Sweeney, right? Is that the other guy? Sweeney, Swami.
Sweeney, Swaim.
It might be Swaim.
Swami. Same difference, JT. Same difference.
Who am I to correct? I mean, seriously, I don't know how to pronounce anything. You say it, you said it right.
Firkser, I mean, he's in my opinion like they're quicker, more athletic guy. I feel like he's going to find the end zone this week. So I think that at the tight end spot, that's all I need. I need a guy that's just going to, trip and fall into the end zone, get me around 12 points if he's a value guy, and that will suffice at the tight end position. Right, wrong, or indifferent, that's the way I'm going. But if I had to get overweight one guy, and I think both of you mentioned him, it would be Dallas Goedert. He's the main guy there. I think he practiced in full most of the week, so he should be good to go. One guy, Waller the baller, Darren Waller, Tambo. I mean, he's kind of banged up right now, right?
Yeah, we got to wait and see what happens there. I know I don't know if anything's updated since we've been on the show here, but he was a official game time decision, so it didn't feel great. So we'll have to wait and see. Some guys, I think it's him, Devontae Parker. There's a couple others, but Waller's the one that's interesting. It was already mentioned in the chat a little bit earlier. I would definitely have some interest in a guy like Renfro. Not that he's going to stack up and ceiling out or anything. I just think he gets enough targets, and if he can get in the box or whatever at that price, that would make some sense to me. Obviously, Ruggs has been having some games, so I think, gets the long ball. I think you can do a couple different things there, but I like the setup that we've got right now as is with Goddard and some of those other guys that you mentioned. Someone else in the chat mentioned Hunter Henry. Mac Jones last week, found him again. He likes him. That's a little bit of a connection there. So there's a lot of ways you can get different. For me, it's mostly going to be focusing on my stack, so and guys within them.
I do got to say, this show is called Off the Chalk. It's not called pronounce a person's name, right? That's not what we do on this show. We pronounce a name however the fuck we want to. It is what it is. All right, JT Hayes. How about you sum up the tight end position for us this week? Then let's get on to defense, and then let's get to our off the chalk plays of the day. And then the boys with the morning wood will be on at the top of the hour.
Yeah, I think most weeks I end up doing this. I'm going to build my lineup first and then see where I'm left and what range I'm in for tight end and defense. And I've got, like I said, a couple of guys in different ranges. Kmet down low, Goddard, Gesicki in that mid-range, and then Andrews and maybe Pitts up a little bit higher. So depending on what I have left, and as I tinker throughout the morning, that's kind of how I'm going to end up.
Yeah, I like it. All right, Tambo, let's talk about defenses now. I mean, this is probably our favorite segment of the show. We got one defense that's projected to be heavy chalk, which we know. It's just if you fade it, it's auto equity in your pocket. It's the Cardinals, 3.1K on DK. followed by the Patriots, who I definitely like, and then the Giants, who are 2.5K. What are you doing at defense this week?
Man, you know what I do? I just play everyone else than that, because the main thing is the defense I talk about all the time, but just there's so many ways that they can get there. There never is a guarantee. I'll take my chances. I like the lower owned defenses versus the ones that are, somehow get to these 12, 15% defenses. I get them in cash games and why and everything that makes sense, but looking for variance there. So I've got a cap of 20%. I let it sort of sift out to 8 to 10 teams, Patriots, Ravens, Falcons, Jets, just to name some of them. Like, these are just different spots, and some are even against each other in the Jets and Patriots, but just what's falling into the lineups. That's kind of how I let it go. There's no real super correlation that I see this week or guys that I want to load up. I guess I saw it on FanDuel. If you could go Henderson with the Rams D against Goff, that could, make sense on both sites. I'm just saying that's where I saw, because it's a little bit cheaper, but for me, not anything that I'm going too heavy on here to go all in or anything like that.
Yeah, very good. JT, same question to you. Cardinals, Patriots, Giants, 3 projected most popular defenses. Are you eating the chalk here, or are you getting different?
No, I wrote down 3 defenses earlier in the week. I wrote down Tampa Bay. They're 4.0 on DK. I wrote down Atlanta, 2.7, Baltimore, 2.9, and I'll add a 4th one. I think they're right in the 3K range, and that's Carolina. Got a matchup with Daniel Jones, and almost all of their key skill position players are either out or injured and going to be a little bit limited. So one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL for the Giants. I think the Panthers defense could be maybe a group that I play quite a bit today.
JT, we got 425 watching. We got 169 likes. Talk to me, man. How does that make you feel?
We say this every week. It pains me because I was up late. I was celebrating a big day for Atlanta sports, as everybody knows. And despite that, we all got up in the middle of the night. Let's be honest. We got up in the middle of the night to do this show, to entertain you guys, giving away a ticket. AP gave away a ticket. I don't know how the first thing you do, I don't know how you just don't, like, the first thing you do when you open up the YouTube is just boom, hit the like button and move forward. Then you don't have to worry about it. So, I really think we need to get over 200 here in order to start the Wood Show on time. I think that's something that we should.
So, yeah, here's what's hilarious. We did a spur of the moment up to lock show for NBA on Saturday.
That's right.
A bunch of us got on. It was members only, so it was unlisted on YouTube. Members only. We had a dislike on there. Oh man, whoever that is, whatever member that is, you got to be disappointed in yourself. I mean, we absolutely nailed it too. I mean, we talked a little bit about Paul George, late night hammer. You just hate to see it.
Maybe it was Expo.
Yeah, actually, there you go. That 100%. It was Slappy. So
I did not catch up fully this morning. So
we are all celebrating this morning because we caught him. He exposed himself. We found Slappy. This is the 3rd time. I mean, this guy, 3rd time where he's created a burner account. He's paid the full price of membership, and we keep catching him. So I don't know what it is, Slappy, but man, it's getting kind of creepy, I mean, you broke all the rules. You talked all the shit ever. I mean, we don't want you in Discord, man. Get out, man. It's bad mojo.
That's how good the product is, right? That you get kicked out 3 times.
And it makes sense too. Just NBA chat every morning. Like, this guy would blow it up, and he would say the most, ridiculous things. And K Fallick is there being very nice, trying to educate him. And so it all clicked. He exposed himself. We found Slappy. He's gone. We can all rejoice. All right, let me check. All right, we're over 200. There we go. Let's get into the plays of the day, and then we'll kick it off to the morning wood. Tambo, I'm going to start with you. What is your off the chalk play of the week?
I'm all about these Brady stacks, man. Brady, Evans, that's the combo. That's what I'm after this week. And then run it back with, guys that you like on the other side. Like I said, Komet, Mooney, who was mentioned earlier, there's ways you can go, but for sure, Brady to Evans this week, that connection, pay up just a little bit more. Sometimes you look, like I said, you see that one TV, you just spend a few more dollars, you get the nicer TV at Best Buy. That's the way to go about things. That's what I'm doing this week.
I like it. JT, you're off the chalk play of the week.
Yeah, I mentioned Godwin before. I love Evans too. So wrote him up in the Gems article. My off the chalk is I'm going to stack up the Florida games. I'm going to stack up the Dolphins, Falcons, and more so the Bucs side of that Tampa Bay, Chicago thing. That's the other thing that I wrote in the Gems article about that game is the fact that Tampa Bay in these one-sided games, they've gotten to their ceiling. Tom Brady has gotten to his ceiling. The receivers have gotten to their ceiling. Fournette has done that in one-sided games. So I might even throw the Tampa Bay defense in that stack of the Florida games and let it ride. I think that's the way to go. Have a piece, just a couple of pieces of the Kansas City, Tennessee game, and that's what's going to win.
All right. So my play this week, I feel very, very good about it. This guy, Mecole Hardman, hear me out. He had 12 targets against Buffalo. Obviously a nice game script there. So he would have put up almost, he had 16.6. Last week, he drops a ball he should have taken it to the house. He would have gotten close to 100 yards and a tutty there. So we would have had a 16.6 plus, then a 20 back-to-back with two other respectable scores. This guy would be massive chalk if he wouldn't have dropped that ball. He's not dropping it this week. He's going to have a monster game. He's going to find the end zone. Maybe gets 100 yards. Mecole Hardman is my off-the-chalk play of the week. All right, everyone. We got the Morning Wood coming up. We got Big T. We got Hoop. We got Holden taking us up for the next 90 minutes, I believe. And then we got the Up to Lock show with JSU and Holden and JJ from the Bets side. Premium members only. I'm AP, JT Hayes, Tambo. Simon, get us out of here.
Are you stuck in the DFS cash bubble? Can't quite figure out how to take that leap toward profitable results? Most of us don't have the time needed to keep up on all the news and stats necessary to be a successful player at daily fantasy sports, or the patience to read complicated spreadsheets and charts needed to make informed decisions. That's why at Runpure Sports, we've simplified the lineup building process to help you create competitive teams. Our content team consists of some of the biggest names in the DFS industry, including BigT, Hoop 2410, JSURab, AP, Draft Cheat, Mangone, and much more. Our contributors dominate the leaderboards in both tournament and cash game formats. These players provide you their top plays on a given slate in an easy-to-use format. In our core plays tool, our experts provide you with the players they'll be targeting the most on a given slate. These core plays give you the foundation you need to create competitive lineups. Our playbook is an easy-to-read guide to each slate, which will also help you make informed decisions. Our new cash game chart features the top plays on a given slate provided by our cash game pros Hoop 2410 and Mangone. We've got a page dedicated exclusively to DFS single game content. It's headed up by Big T, one of the top Showdown and MVP players in the world. Ask our experts and fellow premium members directly for lineup advice in our Discord channel, where our members have benefited by winning some of the biggest cash prizes across the DFS landscape. In our premium videos and articles, our experts lay out their favorite plays and strategies for a given slate designed to guide you towards profitability.
Sell me on Aaron Rodgers. You don't need to sell me on Aaron Rodgers because I trust your opinion, but come on, sell me.
So I think this year he's going to come in. He's going to selfishly try and throw as many touchdowns as possible. I think he's going to be a guy who, at the end of the year, we're talking about as an MVP candidate.
Plus, check out our tiers, stack charts, slate plan, projections, and much more to help you make your lineup building decisions. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at runpuresports.com to gain access at an affordable price. And for just a small added fee, you can also subscribe to our sports betting content on our bet site. Thanks for watching, and keep running pure.
Oh, yeah! Big T!
Best fucking name, by the way, let's be honest. Big T. Anything with a T in it. I love Mr. T. Remember Mr. T? Big T! It's your boy, Russ Hanneman. You can call me Uncle Russ. You're Big T, I'm Uncle Russ. I like the monikers. You can also call me Senor Tres or Mr. Fest, Russ Fest. You can call me ROI, which means radio on internet, but in French it means the king. So fucking yes. But I digress. Big T, Uncle Russ is here to wish you congrats on the giblets. Listen, I know you're the guy at Runpure Sports that fucks. Am I right? Am I right? You know I'm right. Come on, you know I'm right. This man hits the workbench and fucks. Listen, man, congrats again on winning all that money in DFS, Big T, and keep running pure. I like that. Fucking love that, actually. Big T, you're the man. You're the man who fucks. And one day you will drive a car with doors that open like this or like this, not like this. Yeah. Big T. All right, enjoy it, man. Hanneman out. Oh, yeah. Big T.
Are you stuck in the DFS cash bubble? Can't quite figure out how to take that leap toward profitable results? Most of us don't have the time needed to keep up on all the news and stats necessary to be a successful player at daily fantasy sports, or the patience to read complicated spreadsheets and charts needed to make informed decisions. That's why at Runpure Sports, we've simplified the lineup building process to help you create competitive teams. Our content team consists of some of the biggest names in the DFS industry, including Big T, Hoop 2410, JSURab, AP, Draft Cheat, Mangone, and much more. Our contributors dominate the leaderboards in both tournament and cash game formats. These players provide you their top plays on a given slate in an easy-to-use format. In our core plays tool, our experts provide you with the players they'll be targeting the most on a given slate. These core plays give you the foundation you need to create competitive lineups. Our playbook is an easy-to-read guide to each slate, which will also help you make informed decisions. Our new cash game chart features the top plays on a given slate, provided by our cash game pros Hoop 2410 and Mang.
Hey, it's the morning wood. It's Holden. It's Hoop. Tony looking so fresh and so clean, Hoop, isn't he? It's just, I think he looks great today. I'm a fan.
Yeah, I mean, that's nothing new. I mean, sexiest guy at Runpure Sports. I mean, hops out of the sheets, gets cleaned up for us every Sunday morning. I mean, it's, it's a beautiful thing. It's something that you, as the kids say, you love to see, right?
Love to see it, Tony. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's some days are rougher than others and feel like shit today. So
join the club. Takes two of us.
Did you hit it hard last night or just a natural illness?
Yeah, I mean, I got a little cold, hit it relatively hard too. A little bit of all the above for the earlier show this morning. Not feeling, the voice hurts a little.
It's a rare situation where Hoop's like in the best physical condition on the morning wood. I mean, Holden's struggling a little bit, Big T struggling. Hoop went out to dinner with the family and had one beer and went to bed. So it's usually not how the Sunday mornings look here, but hey, maybe it's a sign of good things to come.
As long as me and Tony feel like shit, we're gonna have a great day.
Good sign of good things to come for me, not you guys.
Good day for you, shitty day for us. Wonderful.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, we are going to talk about Robbie.
Yeah, I was in the shower 5 minutes ago, and all of a sudden Simon sends a message like, "We're going to start in 3 minutes." I'm like, "Huh? What do you mean we're going to start in 3 minutes?" I'm literally in the shower.
You have your phone in the shower?
Big T showers sometimes consist of other activities. So, I mean, a 3 minute warning is definitely not enough, or it could be enough, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's plenty, but that wasn't the issue this morning, actually.
But seriously, were you like, do you have your phone in the shower or something?
I always bring my phone in there. I was watching the earlier show. I mean, imagine not watching AP, friggin' Tambo and JT while you're in the shower. Get a little matriculation down the field before you come get on your own show.
I don't know how that works though. I know, like, I dropped my phone in the toilet. I think it was last week or the week before, and I just threw it away. How do you get your phone? I'm serious. We had a whole thing.
I mean, they're freaking waterproof these days. It's not like
you know what? That's the other thing. It's good. Like, if it falls in the toilet, bad. But if it goes in the bathroom,
I mean, dropping it straight into a friggin' toilet is way worse than just holding it in the shower. It's not like it's getting drenched.
Yeah, it was awful trying to get the SIM card out too. Here's what we got going on today. It was brutal. So the like button is nice if you hit it. And I came up with something this morning, Tony. You do your greatest thoughts on the hopper. So Tony has just a wild fucking play in his core. Just a wild play. You look at it, you go, holy moly, this is so wild.
It's so bad that I don't even know who you're talking about. Like,
okay. And then today, Hoop, I'm telling you, 700 today. If you want Tony's completely crazy workbench play, I need 700 out of you because
I have no idea who you're even talking about.
Okay, well, I'll text you. But then again,
that's how messed up my tournament mind is. I have the craziest play of all time, you're telling me, and I don't even know who it is.
Hoop, have you seen his core?
I
guarantee it's a cheap guy. Whoever it is.
There's a guy in his core that I feel like is in there just to maybe troll me. I don't know. It's I'm looking at this name and God, I don't want. Yeah, I mean, this is part of the premium product of Runpure Sports. So obviously, you need to sign up to get Big T's core, but there's something in there that just is staring me right in the face. And
did he beat you or something?
Huh?
Did he take you down or something?
No.
I'm gonna have to look. I'm not situated yet. Like I said, I don't have any of my stuff up yet.
Tony, the guy Hoop's talking about is somebody that he just it's just been an awful decision every week.
I'm gonna that was the play you're talking about?
No,
yeah.
No,
I'm gonna rub that one in his face today.
About.
After what are we on, week 7? After 6 weeks of him touting, I'm gonna swoop in on him and close the deal.
Yeah,
I'm gonna close it down for him.
It's gonna be so awful if he goes on. But I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the cheap guy. But listen, 700.
Yeah, I was gonna say it had to be a cheap guy if it's crazy, because I got a few different. I have like one crazy cheap guy per team today, just to fit the good guys in.
And we will not be talking about him unless you get us 700 likes. Damn it. Let's get into the good stuff, because members do never win. And then you wake up, Drew Anus won. Oh, I love it, Drew. We'll get to him in a minute. Our guy Twirich in college football. Who runs better than Brucey right now? Brucey running the college football content. Twirich won 2,600. There's golf going on still, apparently. John Galt, 7,500. Ooh.
Dude won 100K in golf yesterday.
Huh?
We had a dude win 100K in golf yesterday.
Really?
Might not even be in your thing, but he did win 100K from Runpure yesterday.
We had a 100K winner yesterday. So then we could talk about soccer. EPL, Russell, 28K. And my son, the first thing he looks at me, I think he must have had a dream. He goes, Daddy, why is soccer so bad? He's 3. Why is soccer so bad? How does he know this? I have not spoken poorly about soccer.
This is one thing that I think all 3 of us will lock arm in arm on, because man, that soccer is a rough sport in terms of, okay, if you do bet on it, gamble on it, that's fine, but actual playing the sport, smart kid, man, because it's a brutal sport.
Too. He's just like, good morning, Daddy. Why is soccer so bad? And it was a rhetorical question. He didn't even want an answer. And I was like, wow, 3 years old, you got rhetorical questions. Good job. Rubio is in the fetal position right now. Esports, Lion Cubs, 35K. My God, you guys pick it up on this? It's not even the big sports, not only the big sports. We got esports, EPL, PGA. Phil Roffey wins 50K last night in a showdown for that. Congratulations to the Braves fans, by the way. Our boy Drew, I think it's a Nas. So Drew, I mean, he's got 2 ends.
I think it's a Nas, you just said.
He's not.
Oh, by the way, do you have more to read off? Because if not, we got it. Okay, I got to hit one at the end too.
Okay, you hit one at the end real quick. Then Chief U won 17.5 in NFL. Okie Horn, 17K. And NBA, Amit C with $200,000. So we had a 100K hit and a 200K hit and whatever the hell, and a 50K hit and a lot more hits, and then whatever the hell Hoop's going to say.
Yeah, imagine just not Drew a Nas. Yeah, that's got to be a Nas, right? Yeah,
Well, I mean,
see
I've
that
asked
one
him.
pop up.
He doesn't get back to me.
Oh,
Imagine not just like being a part of the movement, all these different sports. And the guy I got to give a shout out to is our guy on the bet side, Spread. Was always just a sports bettor, never really into DFS. Started doing the bet shows last year, brought on DFS guys, started to get into DFS a little bit. Last year actually got into it, but this year taking it more serious, and two big wins right out of the gate in the first week. Like I think like $5,000, then 7,500. Works hard at researching the NBA games and from a betting perspective, but now is also applying it to DFS. So just want to give a shout out to Spread on the bet side. Awesome. Love to see it.
Nice guy too. Nice guy.
Yes.
He is in the witness protection program though. We got to get that guy a little bit safer. Whew, probably shouldn't even go down that rabbit hole, so I won't. But guys, like I said, 700 likes. I'm not even going to look at the chat today, whatever we get to. But if you want Tony's wacky play of the day, go for it. I recommend you want it. So, guys, just a broad overview. Tony, what game or games do you really, really like today? One or two games?
Yeah, I mean, it's the story of the year a little bit. We got one game that's way better than the rest, and it's how we proceed to get exposure to it while not just playing all chalk. It's kind of the story of the season so far. Got to have some exposure to it. It's a freaking almost 60 total in the NFL. Got great players in the game. Got a ton of upside in the game, but prices are high on some of them. And we got to worry a little bit about just jamming the same team as everyone else, which we can get into as we go through the games. But, yeah, I mean, same story for me. How do I get exposure to that game while not just jamming what everyone else jams?
Okay. Hoopage, what do we got here? What games? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, a couple that stand out, but definitely the one that stands out the most is obviously the Chiefs-Titans because it's a close spread. I mean, we have a bunch of teams with big team totals this week, but they're in huge blowout spots. I mean, you look at the Rams, they have a 34 team total, but they're favored by like 16, 17 points. You have the Bucks, 30 team total, favored by 12. You have the Cardinals, a 32 team total, but they're favored by 18. So maybe a lot of blowouts there, but people will naturally gravitate to the 58 total that has a 4.5 point spread in the Chiefs Titans. But like Big T said, yes, you want exposure to this game. Points are very certain to happen. You need to really think about how you build your teams if you're getting exposure to this one, because you could easily find yourself down a very, very chalky type path, which you don't want if you're stacking or getting exposure to the Chiefs Titans game. So what you do around this one is definitely the most important thing on the slate.
Yeah, we'll get into it. Just real quick, like who are the most chalky guys from this game? Because I don't know how many people are gonna have Hill, especially that they'll gravitate to Devontae Adams. Maybe they will go Hill. Kelsey.
This is why I love these slates though, because like I think this game's chalky, but I think this is one thing me and Hoop all agree on more than most people in the industry is I don't think it'll be as chalky as it should be in theory. Yeah. Like I think Derrick Henry at these prices with so many good mid-range plays is gonna somehow be pretty low owned for Derrick Henry. I mean, he's expensive, and I'm not saying he's gonna be 5%. Not saying that, but in a 60 total, when the dude gets 30 touches a week, I think he's going to be lower owned than he should be. Even if he's like 25%, 30%, like that's not high to me, where other people think a little differently. I mean, it's a huge total. And Tyreek, so the report comes out, maybe he's playing a few less plays. Everyone's going to play Kelsey if they want to play one of those two. I don't think that many people are going to play Tyreek. They'll play Devontae. And another reason I love slates like this, like Hoop was saying, you get all these big favorites. I don't play those games as much as other people, except for maybe leverage. So I hope people go to those blowout spots, and maybe they do just blow out, and we can play just this game that should. I don't see any way these teams blow each other out. So like Hoop said, the spread's tight. Neither team has a defense. I mean, I don't really see how it doesn't stay relatively solid for us.
Yeah, it is interesting from the perspective, like it's by far the most attractive game from a fantasy standpoint. But when you really look at it, I don't think ownership is going to be massive. Now, okay, I think Derrick Henry on DraftKings will be popular. 9.2K, very affordable, easy to get him in. Now you go over to FanDuel where he's 11K, it's going to flip. Like people are not going to pay the 11K for Derrick Henry on FanDuel because of the price tag and what it does to like the rest of your lineup. On the Chiefs side, Travis Kelce is going to be popular at the tight end position on FanDuel. On DraftKings, not as popular because people, again, are not going to pay the big price tag on DraftKings where you can play a bunch of cheap tight ends where people tend to gravitate towards the cheap tight end. So I'm only seeing a couple spots where we could see a big chunk of ownership, but you don't have to fade popular plays. We always talk about it. It's what you do with the rest of your lineup. Tyreek is going to be, I think very low owned. People are going to be hesitant to play him. The injury thing, and really he hasn't looked great, a lot of drops and whatnot. Darrell Williams, I see a lot of people going to other running backs over him. So I think there are play. And then the Titans guys, what you do with A.J. Brown, Julio Jones, we'll talk about that too. So there's different ways to go about getting exposure to this game.
Well, you know what? Let's just get into the game then. So
that's probably a good idea since we're already 5 minutes in talking about it. We should.
So Ryan Tannehill, in this, if you use Vegas odds or anything, I hit his prop over 249.5 passing yards. It just seems low. You look at the game log though; he's only done that twice. He did that at the Jets and he did that at Seattle. So Hoop, the one way he doesn't get to that is what? Derrick Henry just running for 500 yards? Like, how does Tannehill not have a big day? We're all talking about Mahomes. We're talking about Lamar Jackson for a reason. We really did not bring up Tannehill on the cash show. Oh, and if you're a premium subscriber, me, Hoop, Mangone, Thursday, just cash. That's all we talk about at 2 Eastern. RPS, whatever. RPS NBA 15. Are we still doing that one? Hoop, Tannehill, talk to me.
Oh yeah, I mean he'll be low owned. I mean he hasn't had to do anything. I mean it's pretty obvious why he hasn't been productive this year. They haven't needed him. Derrick Henry gets the ball and takes off, goes 70-yard touchdown at the 3rd goal line. He's punching it in every single time. I mean there's just been Tannehill has not been needed for the most part. And that same risk is there this week. I mean, Derrick Henry's going up against a shitty defense. I mean, the Chiefs' defense sucks, and he'll very likely have his way in this game as well. And it's just a matter of how big of a game does he have? Does he get 140 and a touchdown, or does he get 160 and 3 touchdowns? If he gets 140 and 1, then Ryan Tannehill has a path to be a good fantasy quarterback. If Derrick Henry dominates, any game that Derrick Henry can dominate, that's the route they're going to go, and they're going to go super run heavy. Now, if the Chiefs get a lead, then you're looking at Tannehill, A.J. Brown, Julio. I like A.J. Brown a ton this week. I think he looked good last week with the same illness. I mean, he's talking to what he said he hasn't been able to keep food down for 2 weeks or whatever. Practice in full on Friday. He looked good last week. I mean, he really dominated in the second half of that game last week. Tannehill just went to him nonstop. And then you got the situation with Julio, which we've seen a million freaking times, where just can't stay on the field, can't stay healthy. Sounds like he's going to play. How healthy is he? Is he just going to be in there in the red zone? If he's even just a little bit dinged up, I mean, that's a big boost to A.J. Brown, who, like I said, looked good last week. Hasn't had the season that he had last year for much of the same reasons as we talked about Tannehill. They just have not needed this passing game, and he was injured at one point too. But I think this could set up for a nice A.J. Brown game. If these Chiefs get up by a couple scores, which is very possible in the spot, we have 2 crappy defenses, then I think we see a ton of A.J. Brown. Love A.J. Brown. On the Chiefs side, Obviously, you know the players here. I mean, Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey had talked about it. Kelsey should be very popular on FanDuel, not as popular on DraftKings because the tendency for people just to pay down at the tight end position. Tyreek Hill talked about that too. Injury for the last couple of weeks really hasn't looked all that great. Has had some drops, bad drops as well over the last few weeks. His ownership, I think, comes in low. Mecole Hardman's going to have a massive game at some point. I know our boy, surprise, AP is on the Chiefs today. I don't know if you were expecting that or not, but AP is loading up on the Chiefs and he loves Hardman. I like Hardman as well. I mean, he's been very close to big games. I think this could be the spot where Hardman kind of goes off. If you, for some reason, are building your teams and you're light on the Chiefs passing game, I think Darrell Williams is a great option. I mean, he got all the work that we wanted him to get last week. Scored, what was it, 1 touchdown, or did he end up getting 2 touchdowns?
Got 2. Darrell Williams.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, I mean, he has the role that we wanted him to get with Edwards-Helaire injured. So if you're light on the Chiefs passing game, I would definitely get, some exposure to Darrell Williams. But overall, it's just a phenomenal game. But I mean, still the most important point remains true that we talked about in the opening that Tony brought up. If you're playing this game, you need to get unique with some of your other pieces. And that's why, we're kind of talking about Big T's core, where there's some, funky names in there, but that's, what you need to do if you're playing this game heavy.
Tony, let me ask you and start with Tannehill here, because you go back to the AFC Championship game, he only threw for a couple hundred yards, right? And the Chiefs at that time did a decent job on Derrick Henry. I don't even think he got to 70 yards. So does any of that carry over here? And do you have any interest in Tannehill, even in 1 out of 150 lineups?
I mean, I like Tannehill, so I don't know why you're underselling him, because I'm going to have a rule where I'll have Tannehill or Henry on basically every team. I mean, if I don't have Henry, I want Tannehill because I want some exposure to this Tennessee side because I think they score. And like you guys are saying, it's not as hard as people think to get different in this game. I mean, if you play like Tannehill, Julio Jones, and Ferkser or something, you got 3 low-owned pieces all on the Tennessee side. You can run it back with Kelsey or Tyreek. You're like very unique while playing good guys in this game, and it's just not that hard. There's so many people. Just look at the chat, look at Discord. They'll go up and down the list. Oh, I want to play Tua. I want to play Matt Ryan. I want to play. The list will just go on and on and on. And that's why we always get these quarterbacks 15% owned.
Quarterback always gets spread out. I mean, we've
just wild though. Everyone's
every single year. Every year we talk
every
about
week.
It, every slate, every week. I mean, it
you can see
true.
it just in chat though. Like people, you'll just as the show goes, you'll see every name circulate through the chat. Like every quarterback, it's like, I got this, and then they want to have that take that they got the shipper. They were on Tua before everyone else. Oh, Matt Ryan, I can play Matt Ryan and grind out 20 points. No, just play Mahomes. Play freaking Hurts, who's been good in a good spot. Play Tannehill low owned. Like, it's not as hard as people want to make it. Get different in different areas. Like Julio Jones is going to be so freaking low owned today in this game. Everyone talking about the injury and he looks slow and he goes out every 4 plays. Like play Julio and play Tyreek, both with the limited issues today. Everyone's going to play AJ Brown and Henry. Everyone's going to play Kelsey and like Hardman and these cheaper guys. The 2 guys that have upside that no one's going to play or relative. Again, I'm not saying they're going to be 1% owned, but I mean, Julio Jones is for sure going to be under 10% owned. And we've seen him erupt in spots before. Everyone will say the same thing too when you bring up, how can you play him over AJ Brown? AJ Brown has a 4 or 5 point higher projection. Oh, I'm freaking terrified. But yeah, AJ Brown's he's also gonna be played by way more people. And I like AJ Brown more. Sure. If you told me pick the higher score, ownership doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll take AJ Brown too. But ownership does matter to ship tournaments, and I'll just play Julio at a fraction of the ownership. And all these guys, though, I mean, so everyone's punting a receiver, or at least if you're going up to a bunch of guys, you're going to punt one guy, Bateman, and other guys as we get to. But I like in your 150 milli makers out there, and even 20, like you can take stabs. Like say you play Tannehill and AJ or Julio. fade Derrick Henry. Like, I think Tennessee is one of the better teams to take stabs on these cheap guys like Ferkser, this Westbrook, Marcus Johnson's had good games. Yeah, I mean, all these names are thin. For sure they're thin. But in the 150, if you somehow bank the guy that has 2 touchdowns, like say Westbrook, Akeen or whatever his name is, gets 2 touchdowns, you're just so massively ahead of the field that's how you win a tournament, I think. It's not a single entry move more than likely, but any of those punt guys, you can punt one guy, especially in a 58 total.
Anybody else from this? I mean, that was great.
And all it takes, for those guys to have the game is Julio Jones leaving, which is not likely, but it's
AJ could leave too. They both could leave.
Either of these guys. You're talking about 2 guys that have something going on. Like Brown has had a stomach bug for like 2 weeks, and then Julio is Julio. So yeah, you could get in a scenario where both those guys leave, and then you have unowned punt wide receivers from a team in the highest total potentially playing from behind. So I agree with that. I mean, these are guys that you want. And it's not like a 25% play where if you're MMEing, you need them in 25% of your lineup. We're talking small percentage points, and you're way, way over the field.
All right, guys, like button, 700 for Tony's wacky play in his core today. And I'm not talking about the one that he's going to own Hoop on. Maybe he owns Hoop on today. Hoop, you got to have 1% of that guy, by the way. Just,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's any secret. The chat was blasting his name the whole time. Yes, Tony likes Robbie Anderson. We'll get there when we get to the game. And if Robbie Anderson goes off, I proclaimed that I was done with him this week. But now that he's in Tony's core, he's back in my life, unfortunately. So I will have some Throbby Robbie. I've come full circle. I'm back on him. Let's go. The guys get footballs off his fucking face mask, can't catch. I mean, get 10 targets a week, converting to like 2 catches. I'm in.
So that's just know that not only do you get the core plays and the behind the scenes, you also get the spike plays. And that's something very important here at Runpure Sports. And I wish we would start making a list of those every single week. Because right now, Robbie Anderson is just at the top, and he's been there for a month, Hoop. It's just, I even a scrub like myself rides you, and I'm right. It's got to hurt. It's got to hurt.
I mean, you've been more right than me. So especially when it comes to that. But yeah, if Big T likes him, I'm sucked back in. Unfortunately, I gotta retract my previous statements. We'll see when we get to the.
Has there ever been a dude last week, seriously, that got 11 targets, scored a touchdown, and still only got 10? That's got to be the craziest stat line of all time in fantasy. 11 targets, a touchdown, only 10 fantasy points. That is absolutely wild.
Yeah, that defies odds. That really defies odds.
Have you guys seen that TikTok video with the 2 idiots with the hair everywhere that goes, the Island Boys, the Island Boys? You seen that?
No.
You have not seen that. Anybody in the chat right now, I don't have the chat up, but that's totally Robbie Anderson's hair, man. I think Robbie.
Oh, his hair is bad. If he got a haircut, he'd be 100% owned.
Especially shave that dome.
Yeah, the one on DK with all the hairs. You guys know the Island Boys. Maybe you don't. It doesn't matter. So, anyways. Robbie Anderson is not the guy we're talking about. 700 likes and you get Tony's play. That's great. And members, come on, you guys hit the like button too. AP was saying someone hit the down button on a members only show.
That would be a misclick, right? I'm assuming misclick, maybe.
I don't know. That's something I would do, but
that's ruthless.
Yeah, that is ruthless. That's just the type of people that sign up here. Ruthless, just killers trying to win. All right, we're done with that first one. We're done with that first game. So let's move on to our next games. Carolina and the Giants, Tony. I mean, it's ugly, but Sterling Shepard always seems to pop for me. This offense for Carolina does not look good with the passing game without McCaffrey, but I think a lot of people will be on Chuba today. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Chuba's always in play. I'm not like forcing him in, but he's one of those guys in the 6K range that's going to hit everyone's builds just because he's on the field so much, getting so much work that he's definitely going to hit. He's definitely going to be one of these guys 20, 25% owned. He's just right in that range. And yeah, he's one of the guys in my player pool, not like in love with him, but probably more because I'm playing Robbie today. And I definitely don't want 2 Carolina pieces in this game. I mean, we got high totals. Another rule. I mean, as you go in the optimizer, I set so many freaking rules by Sunday, but I don't want Chuba. I don't want two pieces from Carolina on the same team. So I'll be more on Robbie, but I mean, Chuba's fine. I'm sure all the cash people like Chuba for sure. The Giants, I mean, we got to see who's in. I mean, I haven't caught up on the news. Are all these dudes in, Holden?
As of now, we got Shepard. Slayton is questionable, leaning toward playing. So we'll have
Shepard's in for sure.
What's that?
Shepard's going to play for sure.
They're saying that he's likely going to play.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I always like Shepard, but I do get worried that, I mean, he's one of those dudes that like half the time you play him, he leaves injured. But I don't know. Like if a couple of these guys sit out, I don't hate a guy like Dante Pettis too for 3K. Again, that 3K mark. I need to find one guy in that cheap range I can play and like today. He had 11 targets last week for 3K, but obviously we need at least one of those guys out. I mean, if they all play, it's pretty thin to play Pettis, I think. But if they sit, you can definitely go there. And I mean, I don't know. I don't have a ton of interest in this game. I like these defenses though, because both quarterbacks can give the ball to the other team. Both defenses are decent, low total, somewhat cheap defenses too. So I like these. I like these Ds.
No, and now he's stretching on the sideline. Shepard is. So we'll see if
I hope he sits actually, just because when he plays, I always am tempted to play him, and he always gets hurt. But if he just sits, then I can just play Pettis for 3K.
All right. What do you got here, Hoop? What do we got here on the Giants and the Panthers? What are you doing with Hubbard in a GPP? And then is there anybody on the Giants side?
Yeah, I mean, Panthers were, one of those fraudulent teams out of the gate. Everyone thought they might be good, and it appears that they're not very good. Some coach talk like they're going to get back to maybe running the ball a little bit more. The one thing I will say, Hubbard, his prop kind of stands out. I mean, he has a prop of 100 yards rushing and receiving combined, and that's a big boy number. I mean, 100 yards for a guy like Hubbard is, like I said, a big number. 6.1K favorites. So yeah, I have interest in Hubbard. There's nothing else I can really say about Robbie. I was going to be done with him. Big T has reintroduced him to my life. So Robbie is back in Hoop's good graces. And it's been bad too. I mean, like I said, so it was, what was it, 29 targets in the last 3 games and only like 7 catches. I mean, it's a disaster. He's got footballs flying off his freaking face mask. Not the best of scenes for Robbie. But Big T's on him. I'm gonna trust my boy. Devontae Book, go ahead.
Devontae Booker's who you wanted to talk about, right? He's got a floor. Is he more of a cash play?
Yeah, probably, but good price tag. I think more like FanDuel. He's 5.8K, so under 6K. On Yahoo, he's like $13 or $14. I probably wouldn't play him on DraftKings, but on those other sites where his price is a tier below those other guys, I think he's definitely a guy to consider. But yeah, that's going to be it for me in this one.
Okay, guys, like button. We need 700 for Tony's off the wall play today. Good mojo, etc. And then the other thing would be the cores in the playbook. RPS NBA 15, RPS NBA 15, 15% off like your subscription. So NBA season is here. Already read off. Members are winning already in the NBA. Spread, who's our bets, our bets NBA guy. Guy comes over to DFS, 2 big hits already. Hoop was talking about him. I mean, the guy's already going. So you don't only get the plays, you get the playbook, you get the core plays. These are all the playbook is everybody on the list that these guys are in their pool. Then you get the core plays that they throw out there, but there's also Discord. I think that to me is probably the most valuable thing, where if you have any questions about any sport, we've got coordinators that are in there. They're going to answer your questions. So RPS NBA 15, 15% off like your subscription. You get NBA, you get NFL, MLB with the Showdown still, esports, EPL. I'm just reading off the sports where guys won or girls won this weekend. Esports, EPL, PGA, college football, MLB. Then we had Showdown winners and NBA. Get all this stuff. It's amazing for one low price. Hoop, let's go back to you with the Jets and the Patriots. Michael Carter, anything there? Love this kid. I'm hoping off the bye that they involve him a little bit more. Jacoby Meyers, Corey Davis, any of the tight ends in this one. What do you got for the Patriots and the Jets?
Only thing for me is going to be Jacoby Meyers. He's still cheap across the industry. He still doesn't have a touchdown, right? That's still going on where he hasn't scored a touchdown.
Got another one last week that got called back.
Yeah. Like he has to find the box at some point. I mean, if they really want to make a point of getting him a touchdown, I mean, this would be the spot at home against the Jets. I have interest in him. Cheap on FanDuel, cheap on Yahoo. But man, there's a lot of good plays on the slate. I'm not going to really play anyone else in this game, just Myers.
You want to bother with anyone here, Tony? What do you think of Michael Carter?
I mean, Hoop missed an opportunity because he should have just piled on the Jacoby Meyers because I got on Robbie. Jacoby's been my nemesis for the last 6 weeks. He should have just piled right in and just said Jacoby's his favorite play of the day or something. And we could have locked arm in arm, played both of them, and just gone to the winner's circle. But
stack them up. Throbby and Jacoby lead us to the winner's circle.
They're both just the kings of just getting pure volume and doing nothing with it.
Yeah.
And, oh, man, I was not going to play Jacoby, but the more I looked at it, he's just so cheap. I just can't not put him in my player pool. He's just for the volume you get against the Jets, the dude is so cheap, and I'm going to play him again. Probably hate myself when he gets 10 fantasy points again like every week. But, yeah, I like Michael Carter, though. I mean, he's 4,800 on DraftKings, which is incredibly cheap, like you already know. But, I mean, he could get a breakout at some point here, too, especially against New England. Like, people keep giving New England credit as a good team, and they just aren't. I don't think. They can fall apart at any point. And I mean, I like Michael Carter, especially that price point. When you're building the way I'm building today with these studs up top, I need some cheaper value guys. And Michael Carter falls into that bucket for me. I mean, 4,800, he hasn't exploded yet, but I mean, he has got decent volume, 23 carries the last 2 weeks, 3 targets each week. I mean, I don't know. I like Michael Carter, though. I kind of been on him. I hope he explodes one of these weeks because I'm going to have him basically every week. That's it for me, though. I don't love this game. Jacoby, Michael Carter, Ryan Griffin's another 2,500 tight end that if you wanted to play a 2,500 tight end.
Oh, boy. All right. So, buddy of mine, let's see here. He covers Washington. We're going to get to Washington now. So, here's some issues with Washington secondary against Aaron Rodgers. I kind of feel like, guys, that Aaron Rodgers is going to go completely overlooked. Oh, there'll be a blowout. You don't want to play him. They've got Kendall Fuller, Benjamin St. Just, Corn Elder. Who the fuck is that? Tony Apke, Danny Johnson. Oh, JSU, our boy Donnie Johnson's playing here. They have 0 defensive snaps this season for the last 3. They are completely screwed, Tony. I mean,
Corn Elder. They got a dude named Corn Elder.
Corn. Maybe it was a typo. I didn't even heard of this dude. What? I'm serious. What are we doing here? Is there somebody besides for Devontae Adams we can roll out so we can just pick up some points in this passing game?
So I looked at this. I mean, I looked at it a decent amount because I tried to find something in here. But, man, every time I play these guys, I mean, Big Bob Tonyan hasn't done anything. Lazard, Cobb. I mean, I just don't want to play these guys. I could see it. The problem is if I played one of these guys, I'd want to play Devontae too. And then if I'm playing 2 of them, I'd want to play Rodgers. And I just, as a tournament player, this is one of the reasons I like tournaments. I'm just not going to build a team like that. So it kind of gets me naturally off of it. And I like the Kansas City game too. So it's just an off point for me. And sometimes I like it better. This is going to sound bad, but when these dusty dudes, like those dudes you just said, never have played, I almost think in a way it helps them, though, because they play more like protective. They don't give up the big plays maybe as much, and they'll just protect them with scheme more than talent. Like they'll just whatever, go too deep like people like to play against Green Bay, play safeties over on Devontae. Like strategy-wise, everyone's going to flock to it, and everyone likes Devontae over a guy like Tyreek, I think I'd rather just play Tyreek in my game. This is what I'm saying, though. By the time kickoff comes every week, everyone knows the Kansas City game is the best game. But I think people just get naturally drawn off to it more than they should, especially in a massive total. I mean, what is it? It's like full 7-8 points higher than the next game, 10-12 points higher than a lot of the games. And I don't know. I'm not on this game as much. I do like who's the cheap dude I like in this game? I like this Dwami Brown. 3,600 is definitely one of the cheap dudes. Talented guy.
What's his name? Kwame?
Dimey, or how you say it?
Oh, I thought you said Kwame Brown. Yeah,
I agree with Kwame Brown.
Isn't it like Dynami?
Yeah, it's Diami Brown. Yeah, but Kwame has those little hands. That's why it never worked out for him. Anyways, isn't he doing a lot on YouTube too? That guy's kind of weird. So Tony, sorry to hijack it from you, but yeah, Diami Brown, that'd be about it.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky Seals-Jones, you can definitely play. Devontae, you can definitely play. But, yeah, I mean, Diami Brown, now I'm going to think about it every time I say it, Kwame Brown. But, yeah, I don't mind. He's talented, though. Cheap guy that's talented. I think he's going to have a big game at some point, too. So, I don't mind him at all.
Okay, Hoopage, what do we want to do here? I mean, is Aaron Rodgers going to be – we don't care about ownership as much at quarterbacks to be spread out. But, boy, he is just set up to murder them today.
Yeah, he is, but I don't know. Something about this game is just screaming like one of those classic Aaron Jones, like 160-yard, 4-touchdown games. When I look at this game, that scenario just keeps hitting me right in the face. And Aaron Jones is going to be probably unowned because there's so many really good running backs at a cheaper price tag. I'm not full MMEing, but if I was full MMEing, Aaron Jones would be in my player pool this week. I just look at this, and like I said, it just screams Aaron Jones. And he does it, probably like 3 times a year. We've already had one of them. This could be the second one. I really feel that way. More of a gut feeling than anything else. The football team side of things, Ricky Seals-Jones maybe. I don't know. It's just, not all that interesting. Terry McLaurin doesn't look right. Antonio Gibson, they claim, is back to kind of like full health. Had some sort of hairline fracture. I think J.D. Mckissick is interesting again in tournaments. Devontae Adams is the best wide receiver in football. I don't know. Cooper Kupp's making a push. Those two are kind of in a tier of their own. But I don't know. I'm gonna be low on this game because, like I said, I just feel like this could be one of those Aaron Jones spots.
Okay. RPS NBA 15% off the lifetime of your subscription. Thumbs up down there. There's a subscribe button too, little red thing, sideways triangle. Hit that, and that means you'll get a notification for all our videos. You can see all of our videos here, and if you're smart, you'll also go to the Runpure Bet side. JJ is coming back on the premium show today, so it'll be good to see him. So me, JSU, up to lock. I've been doing this for 4 years now. Very successful show. And JJ, our boy from the bet side, done with his honeymoon, coming on the show now. Absolutely wonderful. Looking forward to talking to him today. So.
He's got to be excited. I mean, there's nothing more exciting than coming back after the honeymoon, probably laying pipe every single day. And, after a while, I mean, you get, not to speak for him, but it's like, all right, you had the week-long thing. He's probably excited to get back to talking some sports a little bit, right? I mean, I would.
Yeah.
Really?
I would.
Just a thought. I don't know. It just popped in my head, and I just wanted to, say that.
I mean, you can only lay so much bench time. I mean, we're not Holden. Holden would dive in there like daily for months, but
down there.
I need a little breather. I like a little breather.
I mean, all right. If you got in there 6 out of 7 days, you're ready.
Multiple times a day too. It's not like just once. I mean, I mean, there's nothing wrong with coming back, hopping on with the boys on Sunday morning, talking some foots after that.
Yeah, that would be super exciting.
Yeah. Have you ever stayed in a honeymoon suite? I never want to stay in a honeymoon suite. I just think that there's no way they can clean that thing well enough.
Oh, yeah. That's where you just
as opposed to the other rooms.
The
other ones are clean.
I mean, you're guaranteed like every day, just constant.
Yeah. That's all those places, though. All those resorts. Like, it's not just the honeymoon suite.
Yeah.
You're right. The honeymoon suite's extra gross, and I'm not going to stay in one. That's all I'm saying, guys.
Yeah,
that's a terrible take.
Yeah, anywhere you go, though. I mean, more people. If you're not going to a hotel with a family, okay. If you're not staying in a room with your kids and you're a couple, you're banging in the hotel room. It's not, there's just no way around it. So like, you better hope that you get the family room with the kids and stuff, That's it. Actually, that might be
the honeymoon suite has to get cleaned better than the normal rooms, though, because they want their bigwigs taken care of.
I don't know about that.
What are you guys talking? You guys
I
don't
know.
Hotel room.
What?
You're just purposefully going like to the closet just because you're running out of room. It's just like all right,
the closet.
That's the play, though. The play is to say you're coming with your family. I need the family room.
Yeah.
Less likely to get the action, previously in that room, and you have a better chance of a clean environment.
Couldn't agree with you more, Hoop. Also, the ones with the bigger showers, those are cleaner rooms as well.
That's why the shower is always the best spot. Always clean.
Always clean. You say that, Tony. Always clean, my man. All right, let's. We're kind of over Washington and Green Bay. So Hoop, I'm hearing a lot of chatter this week from our guys. Atlanta, Miami's going to blow up. Atlanta, Miami's going to blow up. Go back to Tua after last week. Actually, me and Uncle T had almost the same core on the early slate, and he's been killing on the early slate, so I'm looking forward to that. But, we got pieces of this game. Can we just buy into Cordero Patterson already, or is this just never going to happen, Hoop? I mean, the guy is capable of blowing up. I'm not interested on FanDuel at AK. I am interested in a guy that's had 7, 6, and 9 targets in his last 3 games. Why doesn't anyone play Cordero Patterson then?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking to the wrong guy because I don't think I've ever clicked his name before. And yeah, obviously it's been to add to your point, I was going through the props. He's got his props now like in the 80s. Like they're like Vegas is giving him respect now on these numbers. Yeah, I mean, not for me, but man, I'm with you. Like, why not? So I probably won't do it. I don't know. This game, I know everyone's kind of talking it up. There's another game similar to this that I like a lot more. Like, I just don't like Miami Dolphin football games from a fantasy perspective. I never do. I get some of the pieces are appealing. I like some of the pieces here, but I'm not interested in stacking this game up in any way, shape, or form. Like Tony kind of alluded to earlier, like people are trying to make the Matt Ryan thing happen. Like, why? Like you're sitting there sweating like Tony said, you're going to sweat your ass off and hope this fucker can get to 20 or 21. Like, why? Like that feeling sucks. I've been there. I've done it a ton. We have some elite quarterbacks in really good spots today. Why mess with a guy like Matt Ryan? The individual pieces here, I have interest in. Ridley, super cheap on DraftKings, makes a ton of sense. I think you can go to Kyle Pitts as a play. On the Miami side, Waddle, Gesicki. Individually, I like all those guys, but stacking this thing up in tournaments, I think, is not a good idea. Like, I never want to play Tua. He sucks. And Matt Ryan is just a painful DFS roster. He's a freaking statue back there. In on the individual pieces, not in on stacking this one up.
Okay. Big T, anything from this game? Let's do it.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is like the trendy game that everyone thinks they're like being so sneaky. Like, I'm gonna stack up this game, Matt Ryan and Tua, and you got pieces. I mean, the Miami has pieces, Waddle, and these guys, depending on who plays. The Atlanta side, everyone loves Ridley. He's cheap. Pitts cheap. Patterson, Mike Davis. Like, this is like the trendy game. And I mean, every time an Atlanta Miami game turns out to be like trendy, it busts. And I don't know. I'm fine. If this game beats me, I'm okay with it. I mean, I'll have pieces. Some of these guys are too cheap. I mean, Calvin Ridley, Waddle, both cheap. And oh yeah, is this that game you were talking about, my boy? I just realized he plays for this team. This Smithy, or whatever you say his name, Smythe.
Smythe.
Yeah, Smythe's another 2,500 tight end that I think is in play. I mean, anytime on FanDuel you can get a low 4K tight end, and on DK an under 3K tight end. I think it does a lot for your team if they get you even like 7 or 8, because tight end, when a guy like, I mean, Waller might not play. Kelsey hasn't shown the same ceiling this year, which he does have a ceiling. I'm going to have tons of Kelsey. I'm just saying, if Kelsey only gets like 12, and this has burned me a bunch of times this year too, where I play Kelsey because I'm like, if everyone busts and Kelsey goes off, you got an edge. The problem is the flip side. When Kelsey doesn't go off and some of these cheap guys get 15, you're just stone dead with Kelsey because you use so much salary. So I'm okay with the cheap guys like always. You could definitely get a 0. You only need like 7 though, 6. You just don't need that much. So I'm on any 2,500 tight end that's on the field. How many targets do you have last week too? He had
2.
6.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 targets for 2,500. I'll take my chances.
It's wild, man. I did not know there were 6 targets sitting there. RPS.
The chat making fun of me because I called him Smithy.
It's fine.
I definitely like him now. I'm going to call Smithy forever.
We got to stick with Smithy for sure.
You know who Smithy is. We're totally down with the Smithy.
Added to the list, we got McElroy, we got Xander.
Those are way easier to pronounce than freaking.
Well, Smithy. I know, but like I'm just talking about like new names for guys. Like McElroy was a good one from our boy Snyder.
Rory McElroy?
Yep.
Oh boy. Tyler, what are you doing, man? Thumbs up. It's weak on the likes today. I don't know. You guys obviously don't want anything from Big T. It's so sad at this point, but that's all right.
You spoiled us that first week when we had like 600 watching and you said 700 and somehow we got it because we gave out a ticket and then Simon got mad at us and then all the flow changed with the 700 number.
Yeah, no, I should just love it.
You got to bribe them.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we can't get to 7.
How did we get to 700 that week? That was one of the crazier things I've ever seen.
Earlier in the season, people were excited. Great feeling. Everybody was awake. Nobody was sick. You know, we were all 100%. It was great. Speaking of sick, was it Chipotle for A.J. Brown? Is that what sunk him? Because I forgot. I had Chipotle yesterday, and I was not doing well this morning.
Do you ever feel good after you eat Chipotle?
Never. And I don't know how
I don't feel it tastes good like at first, but I never like feel great later.
No.
Yeah.
No. Not good. Hoop, do you eat Chipotle?
Yeah, I love all. I mean, Mexican's probably like my favorite like type of food. So I'm definitely in on Chipotle. They have like a Chipotle competitor close by, which I actually prefer. I don't know how like mainstream it is. It's called Pancheros. Do you guys have those around?
No.
Yeah, I think it's small, but it's like way better than Chipotle, and it's like a half a mile away from Chipotle. So I always go to Pancheros over Chipotle, and just much better experience. Don't have the issues after with Pancheros. So I'm a Pancheros over Chipotle kind of guy.
Hoop the contrarian. I love when Hoop's contrarian.
Yeah. I don't know. Like once these places get so big, I don't know. Like the quality of their food like kind of goes down a little bit. I like the smaller places. Yeah, it is probably a contrarian take. Tony, next time you come up, we're going to Pancheros. I got to get your opinion on it. Holden, you're welcome too. But
the dude in chat just said Chipotle is not Mexican food. What is it then, buddy?
It's tacos, burritos, quesadillas, nachos.
If that's not Mexican food, I don't know what it is.
Hoop, I just want to tell you something. Panchero in slang is little dick. So I don't know what
really
little dicks.
Is that legitimate or
no? I was just
one of your things.
But I will say that I was just trying to keep you away from it. Pancheros, Chipotle, all of it. It's just not doing well for me these days.
I'm telling you, if you find yourself a Pancheros, you'll feel so much better the next day. I'm getting Tony next time. Tony's here.
Chipotle wrong. This chat's now making fun of this. It's called Chipotle. I didn't say that wrong. Did one of you donkeys say it wrong?
What did they
Chipotle?
Say? Patley? Chipotle.
I don't know what they're talking about. It's Chipotle though. Whatever.
Maybe I'm Chipotle. I'm saying Chipotle. Who knows? Whatever. I mean, these pronunciations.
I think they're making fun of me. I didn't know I said it wrong.
Legit, the only place where you get E. coli multiple times and people just keep going back.
Yeah. It is hilarious.
But they've had E. coli issues.
I'll tell you what. Actually, the number one Chipotle person on our staff is AP eats. I think probably four lunches a week. He's at Chipotle.
Yeah, they said Hoop said it wrong. I thought they were.
I say Chipotle. What is it? Who gives a whatever? Yeah, I say an A at the end. Chipotle. Hoop says it bad. Hoop is wrong. Yeah, it was Hoop. Hoop did it. All right.
The chat is rallying.
Oh man, there is a lot of.
Yeah, it was in my head though. I was like, "Am I saying it wrong?" And then
so what do you guys say it? What is it?
All right, now I got to get into
Chipotle.
No.
Chipotle.
Chipotle. All right. How am I
Chipotle.
saying? I'm saying Chipotle. I'm saying Chipotle. So Chipotle. Okay.
I would never even notice it, but we got the freaking police in the chat today.
Yeah, people are loyal to their freaking Chipotle or whatever the hell.
Screw it. From now on in this show,
Tambo's
killing
me in there. Tambo's leading the charge. Like
this is
he's
like
leading
heated,
them in there.
Yeah, the people are like offended. This is a heated topic in the chat, mispronouncing their beloved Chipotle. I'm saying Chipotle now.
Tambo's got me dying. The whole chat all day. He's the ringleader, just leading the whole team into battle.
Yeah.
Bad mojo. Fuck, man, that's not bad mojo. Chipotle, it sucks. I'm not Pancheros.
Chat, just look at them all.
Oh,
there's 865 watching, and every one of them is making fun of you right now.
Hit the like button for Hoop. If he's
we got a guy in this booth that is struggling physically from his experience with this place, and you guys are gonna defend this name. I mean, come on.
I'm not, Hoop. I'm on your side with this. He might cost AJ Brown. He might cost us money if we roster AJ Brown because of Chipotle. I'm not feeling great because of Chipotle. What are we calling it again? Chipotle. Okay, that's what I'm doing. And Tambo, what does Tambo know about Chipotle? I mean, he's up there in Canada, man. They don't even eat Mexican food in Canada. Give me a break, Tambo. Get out of here with
Maybe it's like a Midwestern thing or something, because I swear everyone I talk to says it the same way I do. I don't know. I mean, it could be wrong, but
I'll ask G Risen on the Old Guys pod this week how he says Chipotle. Because it really is. I mean, all the things we've ever said, this might have gotten the chat the most heated.
Yeah,
Tambo says all in AJ Brown. Yeah, if we don't go all in AJ Brown after this, then we're just doing it wrong.
That's the move for sure. I mean, just lock. If you've got an optimizer, hit the fucking lock button. All right, this guy is. He's paying off on the toilet. He's going to pay off in our DFS lineups as well this week. Let's get it.
This conversation's painful.
Did he get out of the jail cell? Out of the freaking asylum? Is he allowed to type during this period from his room?
Yeah, what are we supposed to talk about, Mangone? I mean, come on, dude. We got an hour.
I haven't even talked about the funniest thing yet. That I laughed for like 45 straight minutes at 3 a.m. Did you either one of you guys see the Hoop didn't see it. Hoop freaking he's not in the Discord freaking humor club, but so there's this dude in here that we kicked out, freaking Slappy, that everyone's talked about. We kicked him out like 9 months ago because the dude is constant negativity, and it's always been the joke, like who's Slappy, because we knew he'd be back in. The dude said he would freaking, I'm leaving and I'm bringing 20 people with me and the company's never going to be the same. I said, see you, Slappy. Take care. So the joke ever since then, 9 months ago, is like, this guy's Slappy, that guy's Slappy. So this dude, the last couple months, that is on the list of all the coordinators, like that he tilts him, is this Expos dude in the chat. Expos, just everyone's like, man, Expos is killing me today with all the stuff. He was ready to fight Matty Ice last week. Expos. So last night at like 1 a.m, a random, who was it? Because I sent the dude at 3 A Banks 11 goes in there and says, Expos, I guarantee you're Slappy. And then everyone started rallying with it, like, he is. And it started making sense. And like after like 20 minutes, another dude in there it's been another one. Another guy says, because Slappy said, I scored 328 today under Expos, if I'm making sense here. The other dude comes in and says, okay, post the screenshot from DK proving you're not Slappy, and everybody, the whole chat's rallying behind it, like post it. He posted it with the Slappy screenshot, and the chat just went nuts. It was Slappy the whole time. Freaking Expos, and then Mangone was digging up screenshot. It was a legendary. Like I laughed for like 45 straight minutes. The dude said he was gonna leave, take 20 people with him because the company wouldn't, and then he shows up under a different username and avatar. And the funniest part about it is, though, everyone knew it was him because of how negative he is. So he came in under a whole different name, People still knew it was him. That's when you know you got a negativity issue. If people still know it's you under a different name.
Rebranded himself and still exposes himself. It's a tough scene.
I mean, it was just too good.
Where's your wig, buddy? Where's your title?
Oh, don't get him started on this.
Oh, well, hey, you know what? We should have a little Halloween party next week. Sunday NFL. Let's all get a costume on for next week.
I wore my Santa costume this weekend, and kids kept coming up to me like, Santa, and I'm like, I'm Dan Aykroyd, guys.
Hey, Simon, I know we got not a ton of time, but if there's any possible way you can dig up that Luigi picture, that would just be amazing. Oh, can we get Luigi on that? Can you dress up as Luigi next week? Come on, please.
Why not?
Come on. I'll put on a costume. We're having a costume party next week.
All right.
Actually, hold it. I don't know if I want you. I don't know if I want you in a costume.
Who in a costume? Me or Tony?
You. I don't know. I'd be a little nervous.
I'm gonna do dodgeball. Remember at the end when they had to dress up? Win the money, and they ultimately lost the championship game. Yeah, that looked pretty good. Do have a little actual NFL news. Dan Dugan, who's the Giants beat reporter for The Athletic, he said an abbreviated workout for Sterling Shepard does not expect Shepard to play. So that's actually kind of big news. He was leaning toward playing, and now they had a warm up. Something happened. Can we go back to this game just real quick with the Giants and revisit what option would be available, I guess, for the Giants in their passing game? Because Tony's out again. What are we looking at? Darius Slayton? I mean, is that it? Slayton, John Ross? Evan Ingram, I'm never playing again. Is this a full fade, or can we find someone, guys?
Oh, John Ross, I don't think he's playing either, is he?
Then he's out. All right, so
I don't know. I was waiting to see the New York info because
he's in. John Ross is in. Slayton, Ross, and Ingram are expected to play.
Yeah, I mean, I like those guys more with Shepard out for sure. I like my boy Pettis too. Like I said, he got 11 targets last week. He's 3K. I mean, Slayton's 4K. Yeah, I like these guys. I want the official, like, who's in and out. They did do that already? The official one?
No, nothing official, but those other dudes are expected to play.
Yeah, this is the beat writer saying that he doesn't expect Shepard to play, and then Slayton is in. But I don't.
Yeah, I like Pettis. Pettis is the guy I like the most. He's 3K. Woof. That 1K makes a huge difference this week. Like 3K to 4K. That 1K lets me get up to certain things I want to get up to.
So what did he get? 5 targets last week for Pettis? And he's gonna be less than 1%. And he's gonna have that little
11 targets for 5 catches is huge.
Yeah. And he's probably gonna get that again this week, right? Yeah.
You would think he gets, I mean, a decent amount of volume.
I agree. That's a very, very interesting call there, Tony. Very interesting. All right, let's get back to the games, though. So we did Atlanta, Miami last. Hoop, Lamar Jackson, who are we pairing with him today? And is there anybody on the – did you mention Joe Mixon on the cash show? I don't think you did because he wasn't a cash play. But what do you make of this, everybody?
I think Mangone brought him up. Tournament play, I'd say. I mean, workload is huge. If somehow they get a lead, could have a big game here. I think more GPP type play. I just struggle with the Bengals offense because they just have so many pieces. We talked about it last week. They have Mixon, Chase, Higgins, Boyd, Uzoma. Didn't Uzoma scored another touchdown last week? I could be wrong on that, but yes, he scored a touchdown last week. So they just have so many dudes, and I'll just most likely be off of them. Higgins has a decent price, I think, on DraftKings, maybe playing there. On the Ravens side, I'm going to keep, kind of getting exposure to the passing game. I've been heavy on Marquise Brown 2 weeks now. The 1 week was against the Lions where he dropped like 3 touchdowns. And then last week where he dropped another touchdown. I think you just have to keep playing him. Lamar's actually looking a little better throwing the football. Rashad Bateman is another guy that's cheap, 3.4K. I think he saw 6 targets last week. 6 targets, 4 catches, 29 yards. He'll have some big games this season. So I do like him. But yeah, Lamar is right up there, top 3, top 4 quarterback option. I like Marquise Brown in tournaments. Ownership of Marquise Brown is always pretty low. And then Bateman is a solid cheap wide receiver option. Then Andrews too. You can put Andrews in there. I like the passing game. I just can't imagine they're going to. Last week it screwed us, obviously, because these weird random running backs scored touchdowns. I just can't imagine that's going to happen every week. I expect a big bounce back from Lamar here today.
I'm pretty sure I know the two of the 6 people that hit the down button, the dislike. Probably the 2 biggest trolls in the chat right now. Easily Tambo and Mangone. You guys got to switch this up to this, guys. You know, you're trolling us. You're hitting the down button. Come on, Mangone and Tambo. You're on the same team as us. This is unacceptable. Tony, you got any Lamar Jackson today?
No, I'm not going to play him, but just because I like that other game so much more. I think that all the like chalk people are going to play Mahomes on DK or on FanDuel and Lamar on DK. I mean, I guarantee that's probably what Hoops got. That's what a lot of people are going to do. I think that's what you can kind of take advantage of when you know the optimals are going to spit in a certain direction, just because Lamar's $1K cheaper, I think, on DK, right? Yeah. I think he's $1K cheaper. So all the like optimal type people are going to play Lamar over Mahomes on DK. So that makes me not want to play him. And yeah, he's a good play. I just need Mahomes to outscore him though. Even though it's a 1K price difference, it's kind of what I was just saying. Like you play Mahomes and a 3K guy, or Lamar and a guy like, I mean, Bateman's 3,400, but I'd rather just take my chances with the pivot, because a lot of people that play Lamar will play Bateman too, just so they can get Devontae and some of these other guys in there. But yeah, I like Bateman. Marquise, I'm definitely playing Marquise again. He dropped another freaking touchdown on us. He's just too cheap. Him and who was the other? Oh, Jacoby, I think, is way too cheap. Cooks is way too cheap. But Marquise Brown, I'm just going to keep playing him, take my chances. And I don't think you need Lamar with him, but maybe he gets all the Lamar work too that kind of gets me leverage off the Lamar play.
No, I don't know if this really matters for DFS as much, but Lamar's 5-0 against the Bengals with an average of average margin of victory, 20.8 points. In the last 3 games against Cincinnati, 114-19, the Ravens have outscored the Bengals, but
they also haven't had Joey B in any of those games.
It's a different team. Yeah. Burrow, Chase, Mixon's healthy now, but Lamar looks, gosh, it's always tough to figure.
It did break my heart last week, like Hoop said. Like, I felt like that game went really good, and then you get to the end of it, Marquise dropped a touchdown, Lamar just really the blowout. It sucked that those, because we got a lot right last week. It sucked to have Lamar and Herbert be the reason that the week wasn't better than it was.
Mangone in the chat. Is Mangone slappy? Is that who it is? Is Mangone slappy? Because I don't think I hurt his feelings, but it looks like I hurt his feelings.
Yeah, I agree. You did change the subject. You had no interest in my story. That was very hurtful. What were me and Hoop doing the one day too? We were telling a story, and you had no interest in our story.
Oh, I think it was
the
like
cornhole story.
Yeah,
you just had no interest in our stories.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I gave a story. I mean, the chat was more electric than it's ever been. You had no interest for it.
No, Chipotle got it.
Yeah, that was the real that was the real winner.
So
how do we say it? Chipotle. How does Hoop say it? Chipotle? How is it?
Chipotle.
I say Chipotle.
Chipotle.
And you got it's Chipotle.
That's how you say it. You know what?
Tay versus Lay.
Our next date is gonna be a Chipotle.
Now I'm so messed up that I don't even know how to say it.
The chat, when the chat gets caught up on this, it's about to boom again.
So who puts the L before the T? We put how it's actually spelled.
You guys say it correctly. I say it incorrectly. I'm fine with that, because that's not my preferred burrito place. Like I'm a Pancheros guy, like I said. So
how do you get the L before the T though when you say it? Is that what that's? I think I finally got it.
Chipotle. So you're saying
toe tag. It's not Chipotle. It's Chipotle. Chipotle.
Here we go again.
Oh,
Guarantee you AJ Brown doesn't go back there. And AP has colons of steel, man. To eat that stuff 4 days a week and just to like.
I mean, I don't know if for sure it's 4, but every time I talk to him, he says he's got to get, right? I mean, every time we've been on a call or talking and he said, I got to get lunch, it's going to Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yeah.
Chipotle.
All right, back on schedule for Mangone, okay?
Then Qdoba's the worst, by the way. Someone in there pumping up Qdoba. Qdoba
I like Qdoba more than Chipotle. I love Qdoba because they got queso.
It does
I'm a big
suck.
queso guy.
I will say this.
Pancheros has really good queso. You'd love it.
Really. The Mexican food, some of the best cuisine in the world, worst desserts in the world, though. There's no good Mexican dessert. Flan, that's really Spanish, and it's overrated. What
about churros? Those little churro things?
I don't like them? Those are so good. What's that? Yeah, those things are real good.
Mexican ice cream, which is basically just ice cream. None of
it.
Are
they like heat it up or something too? Like they heat up the ice cream or what? I agree with you. I mean, they're not the best. I'm definitely in on the churros, but
10 out of 10. Cuisine, dessert, the worst. Like there's no worse dessert in this world than what you, as far as a cuisine. Even Indian food has the best. The kheer is amazing. If you guys know what I'm talking about. Gulab jamun, really good. Rams hosting Detroit, Tony. Rams hosting Detroit. This 4:00 game. Is there anything that gets forgotten here about the Rams passing game? Everybody's on the Darrell Henderson. Everyone's on Darrell Henderson for good reason. What about the passing game?
Yeah, I mean, I think people are on the passing game too. It's one of the pivots where, I mean, people are going to play Stafford and Cup. This is where while the quarterbacks end up 10%.
Pause for 1 sec. Now I'm screwed because apparently I'm saying churros wrong. Isn't it a churro, right? Like, how can you mispronounce it?
Churro.
Churro? Oh, God. Yeah, this is a rough day.
Somebody said Cheerios. Oh, I'm dying.
He said Cheerios.
Oh, rough day, man. Rough day.
I'm dying. Is Tambo leading the charge again?
I mean, they're on the churro thing. Churro, I mean, is that wrong?
Yeah.
Churros.
Churros. I was saying churros. Okay, churros. Oh, rough day. It's my favorite kind of food, though. So, I mean, should get the pass, maybe.
Yeah. Where were we?
Sorry. Rams passing
Holden
game.
hates all our stories. The only time Holden doesn't like telling stories is during NFL.
I just laughed my ass off so much I didn't even remember where we were.
Here goes the chat. Cheerios. Cheerios.
Cheerios. I love Cheerios. Are my favorite dessert for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so this game, yeah, I think people are on. It's kind of similar to the Tennessee game in a way that I think you can get different though, where I mean, Darrell Henderson in like single entry, high stakes stuff literally is going to be like 50% owned. Like anytime you got a guy like Darrell Henderson 50% owned, I think you have opportunity to go to a different direction. And there's more ways. People want to act like Darrell Henderson can't fail. That is not even remotely true. The dude has failed a million times. Yeah, he gets a lot of workload. Yeah, it's a great spot. But the dude is going to be 50% owned in high single entry. I'm telling you, anytime you can fade Darrell Henderson as 50% owned chalk, I think I'm not fading him completely either. I'll play him some. But say this game turns into a total blowout, which it could against Detroit. I think there's some leverage to playing guys like Higbee, Sony Michel even, and getting away from some of the chalkier guys. Like literally no one's going to play Sony Michel in a Millie Maker. He's 4,200. Darrell Henderson 66. Just say it's a blowout. Say Darrell Henderson gets hurt. Say a lot of things happen, which happens in football every week. We just saw it with Hunt last week get hurt. I mean, Sony Michel is going to be 1% owned. The other guy is going to be 50. Talk about leverage. Just absolutely incredible leverage. And you can shake your head all you want, Holden. Jam in that 50% on Darrell Henderson.
They were thinking he wasn't even going to play. His shoulder was so messed up.
Well, if he doesn't play, then he doesn't play.
Yeah, he'll play. Yeah, I can't go there with you today, but there are some other ones that I like. Drew Anas is in the chat. Again, a big win for Drew. Drew, it's wonderful to see you again. One of our subscribers here. What did Drew win? 8,600 in the NFL last week. Drew. Come Come on. You know the format of the show, though. We pick winners, and then we dick around a little bit, all right? Mr. Cheerios, let's go. What do you got? Any Goff today?
No, hell no. Definitely not on the Lions side of things. Rams are interesting. I mean, for all the points that you guys kind of touched on, Henderson's going to be very, very popular, probably the most popular running back across the industry, but for all the right reasons. I mean, the floor is there, has not been under 15 fantasy points all season long, gets this great matchup, 17-point home favorites, and their team totals 34. So Stafford can do his thing, hit these wide receivers, and then turn it over to Henderson. Tough fade, but there are other running backs that can easily outscore him. There's probably, I think, 5, 6, 7 really, really good running back plays this week. If you are fading Henderson, though, you definitely, I think, need something on the Rams side in your lineups. You need a lot of Woods, you need a lot of Kupp, or even Higbee, like Big T said. Sony Michel is clearly a little banged up, at least. I mean, was questionable. It wasn't, for sure that it sounds like he is going to play, but that's obviously a boost for Henderson. Obviously, you guys know me. I'll be, heavy on Henderson. Not playing any Lions, though. I mean, this should be a just full beat down here.
Just stay away from it. Disgusting and gross. Not even Swift. All right, we got 1, 2, 3 more games to go. And Tambo's in there beating the drums. We need 500 likes. So let's go. 51 more likes. 51 more likes. And Hoop and I are going to dress up for Halloween next week.
Tony is too.
Huh?
If we can get, what are we at? Okay, let's see. We're at, Tony, what's the number to get you to, not even like a crazy costume, but just to put something on out of the ordinary?
800 likes.
800. All right. Pound it. Come on.
We got 904 watching. That means 104 don't even have to click it. Everyone else does.
Fire up the burners. Let's get this thing up to 8 somehow. So Tony wears a costume next week.
Love it.
Luigi probably doesn't fit as good as it used to either. I put on a few LBs since the old.
Oh, don't get that. He's not getting Santa again, is he?
Oh God.
Oh geez, I can't imagine what you do with that thing.
Listen to me. 800 likes, mofos.
It's not funny when I tell a story, but it's funny when you put a freaking Spider-Man hat on.
You just imagine what Holden uses that thing for, too, you know?
Definitely. Definitely. Why would I have a Spider-Man hat?
That is he's worried about the suite and the presidential suite, but he's wearing a freaking mask.
He's probably got that thing hooked up to like oxygen. So when he's down low with his lady friends, he puts the mask on to get oxygen flowing again.
like he's swimming underwater. He's got the thing coming up for air.
Hang on, give me a 10-minute breather down here, hon.
Why do I have a Spider-Man mask in this white horse in my office?
Oh.
3 more games to go. We got up to 522. They're on the path to 800. Please do it for me and Hoop. Just do it for me and Hoop. We so want Big T to dress for Halloween, even if it's not Luigi. Just anything, a paper bag.
Anything out of the ordinary besides a backward hat and some sort of like NBA related t-shirt.
Would you dress like Kenny Powers?
Me? If they get 800, you can tell me. No, I can't say that.
800. 800.
Yeah, I'll dress. Yeah, Kenny Powers, sure.
Okay. All right. 800, and he's doing Kenny Powers. Please do that. I'd really appreciate that.
Would be kind of. I would. Yeah. Next time I dress up, I'm dressing up as KP.
You should.
That's a good costume.
You know how I know the girl that I'm liking? I like her. She's like, have you ever seen Eastbound and Down? I'm like, ching ching. I'm in love.
Did you turn it on while you were on the bench?
Oh yeah. Well, we started with that episode 1. What a great show. I mean, it just doesn't get enough love anymore.
What's it called?
The first episode is so good, too.
Well, every episode.
When they're sitting at the kitchen table and you're talking about the kids' names, he said, what'd they call you? Fucking Shrek?
Calls a little girl a boy. It's just cursing up a storm. Come on, you've seen it, Hoop, right?
No.
Oh.
Everybody.
I know the GIF. And that's about it. I have not seen many. Many.
Oh, all right. We can't go down this. We can't go down this rabbit hole, Tony. We got
I watched Squid Games. Does that count?
That's a good one. I watched that last night.
That's good. You watch it, Tony?
I'm too traumatized right now that you haven't watched Eastbound.
If we go down this path, I mean, shows, movies, there's so much I haven't seen. You guys would be you guys would be disgusted.
I can't be more disgusted than I am currently.
You could be. You start rattling off other things, like you'd be shocked. There's a lot that I haven't seen.
Okay. Have you seen Stuff and Muffins 3?
No.
Eagles Raiders. Haha. See, that got us back on track. Eagles Raiders, and Darren Waller is not doing well. He's been downgraded. Schefter says that he might not even play. So there's some interesting things going on here with this game. Some people think it'll be a blowout, but Hoop, we talked about Jalen Hurts on the Cash Show. How you handling Jalen Hurts today? And then maybe run it on the other side. Because does Darius Slay shadow? Are we going to see a shadow here on Ruggs? Because Ruggs is like one of my favorite plays out there. But if he's to see a lot of Slays, then get knocked down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely the wrong person to ask on that stuff. But I mean, is Slay even still like a lockdown defender? Or I mean, I don't even know. Is he?
Yeah, everybody's played this lockdown.
He's locked. Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, I like this game. So we talked about the Atlanta-Miami game, and I said there's a game that I like a lot more, similar spreads, similar total. It's this one. Really like this game. Think it has a chance to go overlooked. I actually like the fact that Waller is dinged up. I hope he's out because I'd have no problem going to Foster Moreau for 2.5K. I mean, all the way at the bottom, this is a guy that they already use in their offense at times. Carr loves obviously throwing to Waller. I think Foster Moreau could have a big game here at 2.5K. If Waller's out, Hunter Renfrow I'd love at 4.8K, and this is a 4 p.m. game. So we could potentially do some pivots depending on how the lineups are looking. Josh Jacobs, you brought him up on the Cash Show, actually, and I didn't have all that much interest, but then I looked into it. I like him a little bit more. I'd like him a lot more, again, if Waller is out. So this is an interesting game because it's at 4 p.m. Eastern. There's only, there's only 3 or 4 afternoon games. So this is an opportunity to kind of get some leverage, I think, on the field and maybe do a little backloading here. If you like that KC Titans game, if you backload it with some of these pieces from Philadelphia and the Raiders, I think you can potentially be unique depending on what happens with Waller. And then on the Eagle side, Jalen Hurts is, a very safe fantasy option. Real life quarterback, terrible. Fantasy quarterback, elite. Devonta Smith, Rager, I think is a good play. Dallas Goedert, phenomenal play. So I really, really like this game. I don't think it's going to be all that highly owned. The only guy I really wouldn't play is like Miles Sanders. I mean, they just don't use him, and he's just not needed with Hurts out there. So I like just about all the pieces here outside of Sanders.
Oh, Tony. Well, Miles Sanders action. If Hoops are not on Miles Sanders, are you on Miles Sanders?
Yeah, I don't mind him just because of the price. I haven't been on him all year. I've kind of been with Hoop, not playing him. I don't love him. It's just, man, that price is so cheap versus the Raiders. So yeah, I'll have some. I like Hurts though. I like Devontae. I mean, yeah, this game is the afternoon game that I think is a good game. Foster Moreau, like Hoop said, another 2,500 tight end that is going to be in my player pool for sure. I'm going to play 3 or 4 of these 2,500 tight ends, and they just do so much for your lineup this week. They just, as long as they don't, even if they get you 0, first of all, let's get this out there, that it's not going to ruin your day if they get you 0. Yeah, you probably won't ship with a 0, but it's not going to cost you your day for 2,500 at tight end. But if they somehow get you like 12, you are just so massive, and I'm going to take my chances. A couple of these guys will definitely get 0, but one of them will probably catch a touchdown too. I like this guy. I wish we knew Waller was going to be out just because is there a pivot? I mean, I guess Brait isn't that much more in the afternoon. Hopefully there's some sort of pivot off of him just in case Waller does play. But, yeah, I like this game. I mean, basically I'm not going to play Carr, but I'll play – Hurts, and then all the pieces are good. I mean, Ruggs. Even if Waller's out, you can even go down to guys like Brian Edwards and guys like that. So tons of ways you can go in this game.
Where would you rank Moreau if, like, in terms of the cheap tight ends if Waller's out?
I mean, right there with my boy, how'd I pronounce it? Smithy? Right there by Smithy.
Smithy. Yeah.
I think I'd put him ahead. Like, the only reason I'd put my boy Smithy ahead just because you know for sure, but I would just hate to play Moreau over him and then have Waller play. I would feel I'd be so pissed, especially if he does good. But if I knew Waller was out, I'd put Moreau number one.
What that Bears game, when is that? Yeah, so after you got Cole Kmet at 3K.
I like him more too, but he's got that slight 500 difference.
Yeah. So I was saying, you could build some teams with Kmet and potentially pivot if you wanted. So
I like that. I like that a lot actually, because I don't mind Kmet. I mean, we'll get to that game next, but I don't mind him. So
let's get to it then, Tony. We got a few minutes left in the show. We're probably not getting to 800 likes. We're at 545, but just so you know, if we get 255 in the next, 15 minutes, 255 more likes, Tony's actually going to dress up, which is going to be awesome for Halloween next week, but we'll see. So Cole Kmet, why do you like Cole Kmet, Tony? And anything else from this side, Justin Fields and the Bears, as they got a pretty tough task today, don't they?
I mean, Kmet's the same reason I like these other cheap tight ends. He's cheap. He's decent. I think. I mean, I don't even know. Jimmy Graham, is he out? I think he's out. I don't even know if he's still. I might be really stupid. Does he even still play for them? I don't.
He's out.
But he's cheap. I like this game last week. That saved me last week, by the way, when we were doing this show and we got to the Dallas game, and I'm like, I'm firing one random stack in there. That team almost got all the way to the top because all those dudes just crushed. So I might play one stack just like last week with Fields, JSURab, Mooney, and then run it back with two Tampa guys. And just to throw it out there, I'll put a couple Chiefs and Titans in that team too, but I don't hate – I'll give it a chance. I've wanted Tampa Bay to play anybody that can pass for a month now since the injuries have hit, and they just keep getting awful quarterback after awful quarterback after awful quarterback. But I still don't think Tampa's D is any good, so it's a pass funnel. If there's ever been a chance for Fields double stack to go off, it's this week because Tampa's going to score. We're guaranteed to get a good script. You can run it back with two Tampa. So sign me up. I'll play one stack of this of my 5 teams.
Okay, what do you got here, Hoop? I'm just looking at that Tampa side. 4:00 game. How popular are they going to be? Godwin's 5.9 on DraftKings, but Evans is there. Fournette. I mean, nobody likes to play Fournette, but he's in a really good spot. If Robinson plays, Allen Robinson, maybe this is the week. Tony was talking about Mooney too. I think there's a lot of ways to go here, but do you want to go here?
Yeah, no, I hate playing these Bears. I mean, I just can't stand it. Field sucks. The pass catchers haven't been great. I mean, the one guy I'd look at is Mooney. It appears he has the best connection with Fields. Kmet, like I said, is a cheap tight end I'm fine with. On the Bucs side, obviously an appealing team for fantasy purposes. Leonard Fournette is going to be very popular. 7K on FanDuel, 6.4 on DK. He's getting basically all the work there now. No Antonio Brown, no Gronk. Chris Godwin's going to be very popular. I think Evans is just a logical pivot in tournaments at probably much lower ownership. He's a little more expensive. OJ Howard, I think you can throw into that cheap tight end mix if you want. I mean, I think another team that you want some exposure to in the Bucs. Godwin's going to get all the ownership because the price, and Evans, I think, is just a great pivot in tournaments.
Bud Dupree will play for the Titans. Okay. All right. So we got some the inactives should start at least leaking out here in the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes or so. And they will definitely be posted in 12 minutes, which is when the premium show is going to go down. I have no idea what time we start. When does this show end? Does it end in 10 minutes? What's
ends when we're done.
Yeah, when we're done talking about the football games.
Okay, so whenever we're done, and then we'll get to the inactives, and then it's me and JSU up to lock. Basically, he's just giving you his plays, his cores, and then we'll take your questions. We take a ton of questions up to lock. So everybody's going, do I play this guy or this guy? Well, we answer those questions. And then on top of that, JJ coming back from the honeymoon, picking winners today. He always gives us his best bets, and we'll hear JJ's best bets on the show as well. If you're not a premium member, I don't know why you are not. RPS NBA 15. RPS NBA 15, 15% off lifetime of your subscription. You get all the sports, not just one sport, all the sports. Yes, you get the NBA, you get the NFL, baseball Showdown still going on. Our whole Showdown site, you get the whole Showdown site on top of that. So it's just a great deal. There's no question. Tony, last game on the docket here. DeAndre Hopkins, revenge game. Arizona hosting Houston. Chase Edmonds is back. I don't know if anybody wanted to play James Conner anyways. Any of these secondary guys for Arizona. Are you doing anything with this game, Tony? Kyler to Hopkins, anything?
So I got maybe two of the dustiest dudes I've ever played in these afternoon games. I never play these two, but for the same reasons I gave for Sony, I'll give for James Conner. If they blow him out, I think he's just a really good play. Like, no one's going to play him. It's a blowout spot, so theoretically they should want to keep Kyler upright and healthy. I could just see him handing it off to – I know a lot of people like Edmonds. I like Edmonds more in close games where they can throw the ball to him and they can – if they get down, they dump it off to him and they give him carries. If this game turns into a 2-3 touchdown game, I could see him handing it off to Conner, and I could see him scoring 2 times, 3 times today. And I think the leverage on Conner, even more than Sony, but Sony's way cheaper too. But for the same reasoning, 5,600, like, the dude is going to be solo owned, and you want to know how to get different playing chalky plays. This is how you get different. You play a guy like James Conner, who no one's going to play, in a perfect script for a running back. And he checks every box for me in a tournament. But the downside is he's super dusty. He sucks. But the script is perfect going against Houston. You can even run it with Cooks too, who I think is a great play every week because of the volume. Little mini stack. Brandon Cooks, James Conner. Sign me up.
Ooh, hoopage. What do you think about that? A little mini stack there.
Yeah, I mean, certainly not for your boy, but I understand the logic behind it. I mean, I'm going to be low on this game. Cardinals are tough from a fantasy perspective. We know Kyler's great, and he's clearly in play. But in terms of pairing him with other pieces, it becomes pretty difficult because he tends to spread it out. They have a couple running backs now. They have multiple tight ends. Brandon Cooks on the other side, somewhat interesting. He's pretty cheap in a lot of spots. So he's probably the only guy on the Texans side I'd play, but not a super appealing game for me here.
James Conner got 16 carries last week. He's going to play against Houston in a 3-touchdown script, and no one's going to play him.
The only thing I will say, just to play devil's advocate here, is that Edmonds is banged up the last 2 weeks, and he has not played very well.
So why would they run him out there today for extended?
Because he's off the injury report.
Yeah.
But
they're going to be up 3 touchdowns, though.
It's an awful feeling play that could absolutely pay off, just because he'll be getting goal line carries and they should be able to move the ball. I think that's the way you're thinking about it, and I don't think that's the wrong thing at all. So what do we end up likewise, guys? Let's see here.
We did decent.
565. Well, I mean, it's all right. We're not getting Tony to dress up at that number.
No.
DFS production. Hoop's not giving you his core. Go read the playbook, silly.
I do the playbook. I have the playbook up. My plays are in there. The cash chart is something that Mangone, Title and myself work on. I mean, the highlighted plays there are going to kind of be the core that I'm building around.
Are we just going to change your play of the day? The rich parents play of the day now that Chipotle.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Chipotle.
We can't even say it. We have to think about it. It's like
Chipotle.
back when you're learning how to talk. You got to think it through. Chipotle.
Tay.
Oh yeah, Tay at the end. Chipotle.
Yeah, Tay.
Oh, Tay.
And then a pole, and then Tay.
All right, let's do the moms. No, you're not the mom. You're the rich parents. Chipotle.
Cheerios. Play of the day.
Just make it AJ Brown. Who is it? Who do you got today? Who's play of the day?
Play of the day is I think it's gonna have to be Marquise Brown. It's been painful playing him. I've been on him the 2 weeks where he's dropped 4 combined touchdowns. but I think he pays us back this week and finds the end zone, 100 yards, touchdown, potential for more. So Marquise Brown is the rich parents / Chipotle / Cheerios play of the day.
All right, Tony, work bench play of the day. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I just sold myself, I think, on the James Conner thing. I wasn't going to go there. I had another play in mind, but I completely sold myself. 5,600. I'm looking back, too, at the previous. He had 18 carries, 20 fantasy points against the Rams, 11 carries, 18 fantasy points against the Jags, 16 carries. And no one's going to play this dude versus Houston. Oh, sign me up. I'm definitely on the James Conner bandwagon today.
James Conner it is. James Conner it is. Wonder what his anytime touchdown is, because
I'm betting that too. That's going on the bet sheet for sure, because it's got to be, I don't know, plus 150. No.
Yeah, I was thinking 150, 160. I'm right there with you.
I mean, somewhere around anything plus number.
Anything plus number on James Conner today, and we're in on it. Okay, just 135. Can I interest you in some plus 135?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm putting that up on the bet sheet.
Okay. Also, hopefully it's there still on the world's best book, FanDuel. But, yeah.
On DraftKings has a minus 140.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, I don't like it at minus 140. That makes me like the play more, though.
Yeah.
Seeing minus 140.
To see that. Yeah.
Let me just give me one
second. Where'd you just say it's plus 150?
130, plus 130 at FanDuel.
Where?
FanDuel.
FanDuel?
Really?
Yeah.
Might have to hop over there.
I just did. I just bet it. Plus 130.
I mean, I love that. I mean, absolutely love that.
Good show, boys. Let's move on. And we got the premium show coming up. Me and JSU taking you up to lock. JJ from the bet side will come by. We'll see what he has to say about the James Conner play. I like the James Conner play a lot. I think it's fancy. All the cores are up that we got right now. So you look across it. Big T, JSU, AP, DC, Tambo. We got the alternate cores too. Don't forget about the other slate cores. Okay.
I'm convinced people don't know 80% of the content we do, even the people that pay for the site, because there's so many times where like I just know people aren't looking at what we have out there. We got full player pool pages, cash chart. We got so much content that people, I guarantee, and there's people that aren't in the Discord, which is even more nuts, because the Discord is the best part of anything we do. There's so many sharp people in there, so you need to use everything. $80 for the site is just ridiculous.
I just found something that I'd never used before. Team matchups under NFL.
I've never opened that, and it's on our own site.
That's what I'm saying. Team matchups. It's right there.
What's even on it?
This is just matchups between the two teams.
Does it give winners?
It must if it's in there, you know. If we're offering it, it must give some winners. So that's good. Again, NBA is underway. We're doing our NBA stuff. We got the free show. We do the Up to Lock show Monday through Friday. We got weekend content too, as you guys know. NFL, still most of the season is left here. So if you haven't gotten in yet, maybe you're struggling a little bit, need a little bit of help. RPS NBA 15, we're going to help you out there. Already told you about the winners in video games. I don't know what else they call it. EPL, soccer. I think D's on that. Some other guys are on that. Rubio's on that. Tennis, Susie. Oh, Susie's play of the week is DeAndre Hopkins. So we'll just throw that out there. DeAndre Hopkins, revenge game for Susie. That's all I can tell you. She's going there. And then I was going to give you Henry Ruggs, but I'm a little concerned if Slay is going to go on him today, because if that happens, then we're fucked. But, oh well, it's only my bets and two of my lineups. For Big T and Hoop, check us out on the premium side. Simon, thank you very much for taking care of business here. Tony, what do you want to tell Simon? Anything?
Just that I love him.
Sorry. I love you too. Get us out of here, please.